Hello, welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. I'm a little late. I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. But welcome in, everybody. Hopefully, you guys are having a great weekend. Anybody do anything fun today? Anybody? Anybody? I sure as heck did. I went to the store. That's about it. Actually, I didn't really do that much today. But if you're new to the channel, I'm Tanya, and we do talk all things true crime here. So if that's something that you're into, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you do appreciate the content, and don't forget to hit that like button. And you could do that anytime. That like button is free and it's great. Us as content creators, we love it. So, how is everybody? Let's see who's in here tonight. We are going to do our before I forget, we're going to do our members only tomorrow afternoon sometime. It'll just make sure your notifications are set. I'm not set on a time yet, but it won't be too late in the afternoon. It'll probably be, I'm thinking maybe between 1 and 3, something like that. So I think it'll be a good members live. And I will post it to the community tab here in a little bit. That way, everyone will know. That way you guys will know. But if you're new to the channel, like I said, welcome in. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Let's see who's in here tonight. Where's Cheryl? Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Ladybug. I always am used to seeing Cheryl up there. Hey, Jan. I know she wasn't feeling good. Yeah, I think I heard about the scent. Yeah. Well, there was a couple people on Twitter that didn't appreciate a couple people. I was like, ooh, Mary Beth, what is T-Rex? And he's a content creator. He's another creator on the channel or on the platform. He came in here one night ranting and raving over a post that I made. I thought it was a pretty funny post. I was just trying to be funny. Don't ever make fun of a man without his shirt on, because they'll get you. Except for my father, he wouldn't have cared because he's always about his shirt. Hey, Jana. Hey, Ladybug. Like literally. Hey, PKC. And Mary Beth is here. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Jan, how are you feeling? And speaking of which, I should be getting water in. Y'all need to be telling me that. I've been puppy sitting for 8 puppies and the mom and dog for my daughter. Oh my gosh. I will say, for who? You must really love them, but never mind, it's your daughter. Oh my God, anyone want a pup? What kind? Don't tell me that, Don't tell me that. Oh, Jan. Okay, Web Weaver is Jan. I'm so sorry. We should tell people who you are every once in a while. So Web Weaver in the chat, she's my mod. That's Jan. Jan Web Weaver. I always say Jan, but maybe I should say Web. That'd be weird. I think I'd be weird. I'd be like, I don't know. Hey, Lori, welcome in. Hey, Penny. Hey, Ashley. There she is. Hey, Sailor. Did I see you, Cheryl? I don't even think I did. Where is she? Amanda. Hey, DM. We have a lady that comes on our channel, and she's our lady. Where is she? Hey, Sailor George. We got everybody in here. Naomi Jane. Sorry about that. Justice Jane. 2 Janes. Look at that. If I see a Mary Jane, I'm going to be like, what? Hey, Aries P. York. Hey, Joanne. Hope you're having a great day, Aries P. York. Hope you're having a fantastic day. The thing is having a day, y'all. Her vision is completely blacked out in both eyes. So today has been rough. Oh my God. I can't imagine. I mean, I can, but I can't. And I have one eye. I couldn't imagine not having no vision. I'm so sorry. Give her a hug for me. Like that's terrible. What can you do? Just be there for her. Talk about how pretty she is. Anything that you can do, like tasting, smelling, things like that. Get her out to the nature, somewhere where there's like flowers or when that's in the fall. Sunflower fields are in the fall, but you need to go to in a landfill. Oh, was it what? Aries Pure? Are you in a landfill? Oh, no. Oh, okay. You're talking about Sebastian. I was like, what? I was like, well, you're in a landfill. What are you doing? So we'll go ahead. We'll get started with our stream tonight. But I hope you guys are all having a great day. Don't forget to follow me before we get started on like social media. I do post a lot. If you guys go to Twitter or X, I do tweet out a lot of things. Because if I see something, I'll just repost it right away. And community tab, always check the community tab. I've been really trying to get more on the community tab. I used to post a few times a week. I've been trying to post like a lot more. Also, TikTok, I post a lot on there. I post a lot of just like random videos as well. So if you want to see random videos of yours truly, there you go. And let me think. And all the links will be flowing through the chat tonight. And then I do have Instagram, which I need to post on that. It's been like a year, but I do get on there. Hey, Margaret. Lenora, how are you? Hey, Sirius Black. Oh, I'm glad you look forward to it. Hey, Cat's Life. I look forward to all of you guys coming in. I'm glad you guys are all here. We are going to talk about some stuff tonight, y'all. I mean, trigger warning. Like, I don't really give out trigger warnings on this channel. Like, I have like little Nightbot, and Nightbot will say it every 20 minutes or something. And I just do that so that, people don't get offended, because sometimes people would get a little offended if you don't say trigger warning. But with this one, the Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, huge trigger warning. Get a glass of wine, grab a beer, grab some gummies, whatever you got, grab a few extra. You're going to need them tonight. If you haven't watched, I told you guys, like, don't watch it alone. I hope you guys didn't watch it alone, because it's bad. They released so much stuff, and I couldn't believe they released so much. I was like, hot damn. But if you would, before I get started, talking about the case, I don't want, I'm gonna put the link for the membership in. I don't like doing that like halfway through, that's in poor taste. Ruby doesn't deserve her name to be Ruby. Her mom must have been compensating for something, naming her that. It's kind of like, and I like when poor people like name their daughter like after a car, like Mercedes, Alexis. Guilty. My sister-in-law is guilty of that. She'll even admit it. She'll even admit it. I have wine on him. Yeah. Also, it's just really bad. It's about child A. There's pictures. I don't know what I could even show. I mean, I really don't. But we are going to show some things. So basically, what they did. Let me go over here to my other page. There we go. Basically, what they did was they just literally dumped a whole bunch of documents. If you're unfamiliar with this case, I do have a playlist, but you don't really even need the playlist, because we're going to tell you everything you kind of need to know. But they were both arrested in August, the end of August 30th of 2023 for child A on 2 of the 6 of Ruby's children. Now, personally, she should have got charged with all of them, or at least 4, but she got charged with just 2 of the children. Both were initially charged with 6 counts each, but they pled down to 4 counts. So they're like, we'll plead guilty if you give us less. And then Ruby also had to testify against Jodi. That was like the thing. That was like her thing to get a reduced sentence. So they both were sentenced on February 20th. That's the last time that we talked about this case. They got sentenced, and I thought we were going to be done. Really, like, I thought it was going to be done. Maybe 1 update or 2 updates. Maybe, hopefully, Kevin, getting arrested, but that didn't happen. But I really didn't think all this was going to come out. Or I would have FOIA'd this, because we talked about it. And I was like, it has to do with minors. There's no way they'll put this out. Because that's why they weren't doing like the victim impact statements and like stuff like that. I was surprised. I'm really surprised. But they were both sentenced to 1 to 15 years. And I believe that they were like, I can't find it on the internet anywhere, but it was like 1 to 6 years for each count for Ruby, I believe. And then like 4 to 6 or something, or 4 to something, or 2 to 6 for each count for Jodi. I know it was like double. So maybe it was like 4 to 6. Like it was a little bit more because she has, I guess they were in her house. I don't know. I don't even know why she got more. Because she had a doctor, like she was a doctor, psychiatrist, counselor, whatever she was. But that doesn't make any sense either. I don't know what that Ruby could have told her to get her out of it. You know what? I'm gonna grab this water back here. Sorry if my chair's loud. Let me scoot back. We have hardwood floors. Obviously you guys have seen behind me before. Yeah, Jen. Okay. So let's give you the rundown real quick. Let's give you the skinny. We're going to give you guys all what's going on. But before we get started, this woman was a YouTube creator. I want to make that clear first and foremost. She was a creator with 2.3 million subscribers. Family vlogger. She was known for her tough parent approach, tough love approach, aka she's literally her and Letitia are like literally neck and neck. And Lori, I don't know. I mean, Letitia's still like top of my list because I just can't even stand her voice. Even I can't stand Ruby either, but I just really hate her. Hey, baby girl, and I saw that. Before I really deep dive, I want to let you know I have been watching the Sebastian Rogers stuff. Actually, Jan wrote me today. It was so great. I was like, I appreciate that. And Lenora, I think Lenora emailed me. I saw it on my phone, but I didn't get a chance to read through it. But thank you. I saw you guys reached out. That was really nice. I'm keeping an eye out. And literally, if you guys see something before I do, let me know and we will, we'll make sure we flip it over because this is something we could talk about, whenever. But if that's something that's breaking news, we'll make sure we go over. Do you think? See, I thought Sebastian's mom and stepdad were like the first two interviews. I thought that they I don't know. I thought they seemed sincere, but you guys were all like, nuh-uh. And I'm like, okay, I need to go back and look then. So now I'm going to have to go back and look. Let me add this up here. So this is the Washington County website, Utah. Look at them. Don't they just look lovely? Lovely. Jodi looks like she's just been crying her whole life. So basically, they pulled out documents, photos, videos, eyewitness accounts, jailhouse calls. Journals. We got it all. Got that all. I'm going to put in a FOIA, like a full FOIA request on Monday so that we can continue to get those jailhouse calls between, that Jodi makes out and that Ruby makes out of prison because they're going to be good. They are. Ruby's going to cry for the next 15, 30 years or whatever it is she has. So I'll put that in on Monday. Hopefully it doesn't cost $400. I think that's what Letitia Stouks cost. Like what? But we'll make sure we get there. But I do have the documents downloaded and some of the pictures, like half of them, the website is running incredibly slow. Like 2 minutes per download. It's ridiculously slow. I've been sitting here for hours downloading, but I do have most of them all downloaded. Now, what we'll do tonight is we'll go through the documents that some of the documents. I'm just going to go through the August 30th documents because the journal is pretty long, Ruby's journal. And then there's the incident report is 40 pages, but there's a big but. You're going to get to hear all that because Law and Crime has been dropping so many videos on this. It's I was like, what? So after I've been sitting here for hours on end, downloading these, going to go one by one, they did an hour-long video. So what we'll do is we'll kick it off with this. We'll read this, read a couple documents, watch that. And then we'll pause for commentary. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Let me see. I'm just reading. Maybe I saw that. Maybe it was G Ladybug that I saw. Maybe it wasn't. Was it Lenora or Maybe it was Ladybug. I'm really bad. I need to check my emails, guys. I'm gonna check them tomorrow or Monday. I should just check them on Members Live tomorrow. You guys should make me say. I don't have that many. I mean, it's not like I got a million or anything. I don't think. There's probably something good in there too that I need to know. This is kind of small print, so I'm going to put my glasses on. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, smash the like, smash the subscribe button, you know. Once we hit 15,000 subscribers, we're going to do our next giveaway. Also, I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time for the members, and then I'm going to put in that's to my second channel. If you would like to come over and hang. Okay, so let's start reading this. This is going to give you, this is like the case summary. So we're going to get a background here. But like I said, she was YouTube channel. I mean, huge YouTube channel, like raking in hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. Like they should have been 6 children, husband, mom, you know, nice looking, decent looking couple, great looking kids, very well-mannered kids. They were supposed to be like this Mormon family. Well, she met Jodi. She was already a bad seed. Kevin was a bad seed too. And then Jodi was there just to water the seed. And then there they went. And now we have this. I'm very, 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 very thankful. Hey, Daniela, that Russell was able to get out of that house and run to the neighbors, because Eve was in no position. She would have never gotten out. If you guys have seen the videos, it's so bad. Hey, Princess Mega Elsa. Oh, I like your new emoji lady. I need a little emoji person sometimes. Just sometimes. Maybe I'll do that on my second channel. So this is the case summary. It says here that Ruby Franke, and if I call her Frank, I'm sorry. I'm used to like that E being silent on people's names, so don't come for me. Sorry. Ruby Franke was once best known for her popular YouTube channel on which she documented family life with her husband and 6 children. On December 18th, 2023, however, she pled guilty to 4 counts of aggravated CA. On December 27, 2023, Jodi Hildebrandt, a licensed therapist who ran an online self-improvement program with Ms. Franke, also pled guilty to 4 counts of aggravated CA. 4 months earlier, the women were arrested after Ms. Franke's 12-year-old son climbed out of the window of Ms. Hildebrandt's Ivins, Utah residence. Ran to a neighbor's home and he asked for help. The neighbor observed duct tape on the boy's ankles and wrist, severe wounds, and malnourishment. He quickly contacted law enforcement, who, upon arrival, learned that potentially more children remained inside Hildebrandt's home and in harm's way. The officers responded to Ms. Hildebrandt's home, placed her under arrest, and conducted a search on her sizable property, where they found Ms. Franke's 9-year-old daughter petrified and hiding in a closet. And she was petrified. Hey, Angela. Oh, be careful driving. Like, wow. You know, that's insanity. She was hiding in there. It took them like 2 to 3 hours to get her to come out. She was terrified. The ensuing investigation revealed that Ms. Franke and Ms. Hildebrandt held Franke's 12-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter in a work camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in. Sounds familiar. And virtually all forms of entertainment. They were also prohibited from interacting with others and were hidden in the home and when others came to visit. So when other people came to visit, where were they? What they say? Where's Russell and Eve? Where's your 6 children? Any of them? They're all out. Wow. They were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and sitting against a wall without a chair or stool for hours at a time. What's up with people making people stand up for hours at a time? What's up with that? Is Aries green? Did Aries is green? I don't know. How did I not notice that? I'm so excited about that. Aries, it's about dang time. There we go. Look at that. I love that. And thank you for becoming a member, Daniela. Am I saying that right? I hope I am. Man, wow. That's awesome. That is so awesome. I love that. Aries, you've been in here forever. We love that you're finally green. Let's see. So the children were also forced to do manual labor outdoors in extreme summer heat without shoes or socks. This is stuff that like a grown adult, it would be torture for them. They were similarly forced, I can't ever say that word, forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was bound hand and foot after a previous attempt to run away. And when they say bound hand and foot, they literally, if you're laying on your stomach and your legs and your arms are going this way, like the wrong way, that's how they were like picking him up. They were handcuffing him and then putting a rope in between and then picking him up like that. We did read the PCA. PCA was nothing compared to what we're going to hear tonight and see tonight. It's crazy. Additionally, the children suffered emotional abuse to the extent that they came to believe that they deserved the abuse. Man. The investigation found that religious extremism motivated Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt to inflict this horrific abuse. The women appeared to fully believe that the abuse they inflicted was necessary to teach the children how to properly repent for imagined sins and to cast the evil spirits out of their bodies. Now, let me know, I'm not sure, but I don't think Jodi was in Ruby Franke's life when she was making her son sleep on the beanbag chair, was she? Let me know. Or when she took Christmas away from the kids, let me know, because I'm not sure. She might have been. That might have been like part of her thing, you know. But I think this was years before her. And I'm going to try to make it as easy on you guys as like, you know, as easy as I can. Like, I definitely understand if you can't watch tonight. I definitely understand. It's pretty horrific. Okay, let me grab my drink. I forgot to pick up they put me on some medication for dry mouth today. In case anybody wanted to know that, you know, just snip that right in the middle of the live. The investigation. Okay, I read that. Sorry. On February 20th, 2024, Judge John J. Walton of Utah's 5th Judicial District Court sentenced Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt to serve 4 to 30 years. They better get them damn 30 years, because they said they wasn't going to say anything to the parole board if Ruby came up for parole. She better not get out in 4 years. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do. Maximum sentence for this type of offense, because of Utah's indeterminate sentencing laws, the Utah Board of Pardons and Parole now oversees the length of their prison sentence. So yeah, they didn't exactly give us a time. I don't even know if they still have it. So when they sentenced them, they said like between, you know, this and this many years. And basically what they were supposed to do was come back and let us know exactly how many years they were going to be getting, but we never heard. The Washington County Attorney's Office is grateful for law enforcement, medical personnel, children's justice, center, all those, were instrumental. Wow. I mean, if Russell wouldn't have got out, they wouldn't be here right now. I full-heartedly believe that. Hey, Brian. Welcome in if I missed anybody. I was reading. Oh, hot damn, I forgot about this. I put the chat up over here. I used to put the chat up over here and I forgot. I forgot about that. Right. To think people go to fertility clinics, spending their entire life and fortune to get pregnant for women to just unalive or abuse theirs. Yep. Aren't we grateful that they escaped when they did. Yeah, if they wasn't, I mean, especially, oh my gosh, seeing Eve. So I do have a couple pictures. I don't know if I can show these. I really don't. I don't know if I can show this. It's not BLOOD. I think it's the Kanye pepper and stuff that was in his wounds. I shouldn't show that one. I'll show this one though. I don't know if I should show this one even, but I'm going to show this one. Okay. Now this is going to show, I'm going to tell you what it's going to show. It's going to show a malnourished Russell. You can only see his arms and his legs though. And you remember the handcuffs that they were bound with, they would create marks and they would start to cut into their skin. So Jodi and Ruby, I'm going to think of some good names for them. But they decided they thought that it would be a great idea to put Kanye pepper and honey in those wounds and then dress them with saran wrap and duct tape. And then just put the handcuff right back over it. Like that was a cure. Like they cured them. So I'm going to show this picture. I'm not going to show it for very long. I'm going to show it for like 2 seconds. So take a look. If you can't, look away and I'll tell you when it's done. I'm going to show it now and I'll let you know when I am done showing it. So if you don't want to look, you don't have to. Okay, I'm sharing it now. Now this is poor little Russell. Like, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to take it off the, let me double check. It's off the screen. You guys can look back if you want. Oh man, I when I saw this, okay, I didn't see this till earlier, like probably 30 minutes before the live. I'm still downloading the pictures. So I'm seeing more pictures of like, the house and stuff like that. It's still horrific, but it's not the kids yet. I think they're down. Oh my gosh. It's just, it's like incredibly sad. They should get the DP. Like that's just, I mean, I don't know how you can't when you hurt kids. And then to be an S offender. Just get out. Just get on a registry. What? There's actually a new app out. What is that app called? It'll tell you it'll give you like a background check on anybody. Like you could do it for like your kids, like, for their friends as parents and stuff. Oh man, I'll have to look into that for you guys. It's a really good app. It seems like it seems worth it. So basically these, I want to make sure I have them all. I should have them all. We're only going to go over a few tonight because they have some for the 30th of August, I believe. Yes. And then the 31st, just one, there's just two. So 2 there. And then we go to September 1st. Let me see how long this is. We could probably do this one. I'm not good at reading officers' handwritings. I should have probably printed that one out. Let me see what these ones. Okay. Okay. So that's what we'll do. We'll read through a few of these and then we'll play the Law and Crime. Sound good? So we might be here for like another hours and a half. So get comfortable. But it won't be too long. It won't be too bad. So this is just going to be the status and the offense, aggravated CA. And I just wanted to basically read, this here. So date, time, reporting officer, Wednesday the 30th. And this is the probable cause statement. And this is for Jodi. On August 30th, 2023, Jodi Hildebrandt was placed under arrest for the following. Oh, thank you so much, Jana. Thank you for gifting memberships. That's incredibly kind. Thank you. Look at all those people. Where's Olivia been? I don't feel like I've seen Olivia in a while. Is it Knox Girl, West Virginia Hollow Girl, Angela? Look at that, Lenora. Look at that. I love new memberships. We're gonna have new members for tomorrow's members only. So, and sorry if I can't see the chat too much. I'm trying to look on both screens. I've got 2 of them up. I should be able to. So on August 30th, 2023, Jodi was placed under arrest for the following. One, child A. Child 1, so Russell's going to be child 1. Child 1 climbed out of the window of an Ivins residence belonging to Jodi Hildebrandt and ran to a neighbor's home. Child 1 knocked on the door requesting food and water. And we actually, when you see the video, he requests, and he is so smart. He says, "Can I have 2 things, please?" And the guy's like, "Well, what is it?" I don't think he noticed at first, maybe the kid. And he was like, "Can you call the local sheriff or local police or something like that, police department?" And then he's like, "Well, I guess just 1." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so sad." The neighbor observed duct tape on child 1's ankles and wrist and contacted law enforcement. Upon arrival, law enforcement observed the wounds and the malnourishment of child 1 to be severe. And it was. And he was transported to St. George. Yeah, we never saw any pictures before this. Like, I don't think that anything could have prepared me. Like, even reading the PCA, reading all the documents, watching the court hearings, digging in it, nothing could have. Child 1 was placed on a medical hold due to his deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and from his malnourishment. Jodi Hildebrandt was found to be in direct care of child 1 as he was staying in her home. In Jodi Hildebrandt's bathroom, let me put this a little bit up, make it a little bit bigger for us. I located gauze which had been used, which I'm surprised. This observation adds to Miss Hildebrandt's knowledge of the abuse in the home. Miss Hildebrandt requested a lawyer and did not speak with us. Once given her charges, Miss Hildebrandt informed me that child 2 and child 1 should never be allowed around any other kids. What? She said, what? Hey, Albine, what's on? What are we watching? What's going on? Did I miss something? Let me know. Put some fireworks in the chat, you know. Oh, wait, there is some. Okay. Oh, Ashley, tell Boo thank you. I used to get made fun of for my voice as a kid. It must be the mic. So Miss Hildebrandt, this is a 9 and a 12-year-old. Miss Hildebrandt informed me child 2 and child 1 should never be allowed around any other kids. You know what? Like, did Ruby always think her 2 youngest there was like something wrong with them, that they were evil or something? Because remember her taking Christmas away from them and saying that she was giving them the gift of love? It's crazy, isn't it? And I'm trying not to I'm trying to say the words and not sugarcoat it too much. So if you guys don't mind smacking that like button, because this is probably going to get demonetized and it's probably not going to get on the algorithm very good, but we're reading it. So it says, Miss Hildebrandt had knowledge of the malnourishment, abuse, and neglect. This charge will be enhanced to a second-degree felony. I asked that Miss Hildebrandt not be allowed bail due to the severity of the injuries and the fact that DCFS has taken 4 of Miss Franke's children into their custody, and I have yet to speak with 2 of them. And the other 2 that were found were their second, like middle children, I believe 14, 16. They were found at another person that they all worked for Connections. And it's like a little cult job. And they found her 2 middle children over there cleaning someone else's home. You can't get a teenager to clean the room. How are you getting them to clean a neighbor's house? Or a friend's house, like a coworker? It's weird. Victim child 2 was found. Was found at Jodi Hildebrandt's residence after child 1 made contact with police. Child 2 was found to be malnourished and initially refused medical. Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. It wasn't 2 or 3. It was 4 hours. After approximately 4 hours. Y'all, those officers, they've got patience like a saint. Too bad Ruby didn't have that. Maybe they should show her the body cam of them talking to her daughter and trying to get her to come out and saying they're officers, they're here to help. Paramedics arrived and transported child 2 to the hospital where she was determined to be malnourished by medical professionals. Jodi Hildebrandt was found to be in the direct care of Eve Franke. Once given her charges, Miss Hildebrandt informed me, I'm surprised they put her name there. I don't think they meant to. Informed me child 2 and child 1 should never be allowed around any other kids. With this information and the belief that Miss Hildebrandt had knowledge, of all of that, that the charge should be enhanced to a second-degree felony. So they went ahead and did the same thing with child 2 as they did with child 1. I mean, what? Well, Jana, thank you so much. Gifted memberships again. Isn't it fun? I like gifting memberships. Maybe I'll give some memberships tonight. I like doing it because it's like the lottery. If anyone's a gambler, start gifting some memberships. It's really fun. Just kidding. Let me see about this one. So this one is just like, I'm just going to not going to go through this one, but it's just like talking about, that the juvenile came and asked for help. They, sent the ambulance there. A search warrant was obtained. That's when they found, markings on the juveniles. And then they went into the home and they found some more evidence. Now this one, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read this one, y'all. This one's a little hard. So I'm going to turn my camera off because I might need to be all up in the camera. I know. She's like Oprah-ing it up. She's like Oprah. You're like our white Oprah. I love Oprah. She lost a lot of weight. Have you guys seen her lately? I think she's on that Ozempic diet. Good for her. Thank you, Janet. That's very nice. That's so nice. Oh, look at Brian coming in with 5 memberships. Look at this. I'm spoiled tonight. Oh, you guys are spoiling me. Between you guys and then Mary Beth always throwing in some memberships. You guys are always throwing out memberships. There's a few of you that like to do it. And T. Salas is really good at throwing out memberships. You guys are so nice. Thank you. It means a lot. It truly does. How do you claim to be a good mother and abuse the living hell out of your kids? Groovy Nikki, that's the question of the night. Now, this is going to be from I believe this is a statement from one of the witnesses. Yeah, it is. I was trying to read through this earlier and I was just like, oh, we're going to try it all together. So if anyone's in the comments tomorrow watching on replay, I'm sorry. Upon returning from work, I noticed police activity, and that's on Tango Court. Yeah. Found out later on media about the abusers, Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke. I checked it's like, home security videos the next day and saw that redacted Russell came to my front door. This time was 11:37 a.m. Sadly, we were not home to help. Oh gosh, they probably felt so bad. Not sure if this is pertinent to the investigation, but we wanted to pass it along. Sorry. Something to be followed by email. Something the doorbell, but found no one here. Oh, something. Okay, rang the doorbell. So Russell rang the doorbell, but found no one here. He was wearing a long sleeve blue shirt, shorts, and socks. No shoes. Wounds were visible on his ankles. His ankles appeared to, have some type of wrapping, just like the wrapping. Okay. And then they left at 11:39. Oh my God, they were there for 3 minutes. Where was the time at? I think they said it was 3 minutes. Oh my gosh. 11:37. So 2 minutes, but still, that's a long time. Yeah, so all of these that I'm showing you, all these are brand new. They just came out, I think yesterday. I think they came out yesterday. I live with Ariel and I sent text messages to both neighbors upon return home from work. Okay, this is somebody down here writing this. Who's this? I think they cut it off and they say something else because, like, look at the handwriting so much better. I live with Ariel and I sent text messages to both neighbors upon return home from work and seeing the police activity on the street. Jodi was one of those neighbors. I was simply confirming if they were safe. I did not get a response from Jodi. That's Michael Harris. Or is it Michael or Michelle? Michelle? I can't. Okay, Harris. Right here. Okay. Signature's not very good. Yeah. I was reading the chat. Okay. See, I love that, Mary Beth. That's so true. Where did it go? Membership costs less than a cup of coffee. We hope you'll stay. I love that. We do have our memberships at pretty good prices here, I think. And I do be loving me some members. I love everyone. I love y'all, though. Even members, subscribers, lurkers, all y'all. Especially the lurkers. Mad love for you. Because I'm usually just sitting in here, wasting your time, kind of. That would suck. Okay, so this is going to be the next one I'm going to read. I think this is the last one. Yeah. So, and then we'll get to the long crime. It's like an hour long and it's really good. I was watching some of it before I came on. It's going to tell us like a little bit of everything. So I thought that would be a good way to kick it off because, reading the documents is okay, but seeing the pictures is going to be hard. So statement for Ivan's police regarding 12-year-old boy asking for help. And if you guys have been with us, following this case, that neighbor was like crying on the phone, like a grown man when he saw this boy. So bad. On Wednesday, August 30th at 10:46, our doorbell rang. So does this mean it was a different day that he went to the other person's house? Hold on. It doesn't say on here. It just says the time was 11:37, but if he was there at 11:37, how could he be here at 10:46? Now I'm confused. I don't know. I was slow to answer because I have mobility issues and my wife was in the bathroom. Way to throw her under the bus. When I answered it, I saw a young boy who had started to walk away. This was startling because our community has no children. I called him back and asked him what was going on. Thank God he did that. This is where it is. He said he needed a favor. He asked to be taken to the nearest police station. The boy was in socks, no shoes, walking in hot asphalt and our long rock driveway. And it's probably those lava rocks. I told him to come sit down on one of our patio chairs by the front door. I sat in the chair beside him and asked him his name, and he said it was, we all know, Russell. I mean, his mom was a YouTube creator. I asked his age. He said 12. And I want to let everyone know, remind everybody that Russell celebrated, not really celebrated, but he was in that home for his 12th birthday, going through all that torture. I asked him where he came from, and he said Jodi's house. The house is about 100 yards away. Russell appeared emaciated and malnourished. Also, he had duct tape around each ankle. I asked him about the duct tape around his ankles, and he said it was... What? Oh, my... Oh, y'all, this is sad. Y'all, I'm going to blow this up. Why am I reading it where I can't even read it? I mean, it's like small. I asked him about the duct tape around his ankles, and he said it was personal business. What 12-year-old says that? But that it was his fault. I did not press the issue, but became further alarmed. Wow. Hey, Laura, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Look at that. You guys are spoiling me tonight. You guys are spoiling me. Thank you, guys. We got Scarlett and Darcy and Sundown. And who was the other one? Oh, I think I might have misspoken one. AJ, that's awesome. Well, let me show that comment. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. And I thought I had turned my camera back on during this part. So let me get back on. Since I can read it a little better now, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for us. I don't know if that's too big for you. Nope, it's not too big for you guys. Wow. About that time, my wife Debbie came outside. We locked eyes. I told her, Russell here had been staying at Jodi's house. Please bring my phone. Then I asked if he wanted some water or something to eat. He said yes. Debbie ran and brought the phone. She asked Russell if he had any food allergies, then gave him a bottle of water, an organic pineapple strip, and a banana. Now, what? Now that she must have kids, and if she doesn't, she should have a whole bunch. She said, "What? Are you allergic to anything?" I would have never thought of that. If a little boy emancipated malnourished came to my house, I would just be like water and whatever I could give him. Like I'd probably do like crackers or something, but you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't think to ask about food allergies. At 10:52 a.m., I called 911. I told the dispatcher a 12-year-old boy had just showed up at our door asking for help and stated he appeared emancipated, now malnourished, with duct tape around his ankles. I continued to talk to Russell as the 911 dispatcher started giving me questions to ask him. We got his full name as Russell Franke, and his age is 12. We began to look at the duct tape around his ankles. We realized there was saran wrap and blood beneath the duct tape. We also discovered he had duct tape around his wrist, hidden by long sleeves, and again he said, "I got these wounds because of me." It was obvious to us that he had been in bondage. That's incredibly sad. The dispatcher asked his mother's name. He said Ruby Franke, but that he didn't know where she was. When asked, Russell said he had a 10 and a 14-year-old sister still in Jodi's house. Before the ambulance arrived, Russell reminded us that he had been to our door last Christmas delivering a gift from Jodi. Wonder what the frickin' gift was. Let's see. Let's see. So she delivered a gift. Got to give them a gift. You know, their neighbors 100 yards away. We recalled a woman and several children bringing over a plate of Christmas cookies, and my wife exchanged Christmas treats as well at the time. The woman explained she was a friend of Jodi's. That would have been Ruby and her damn kids. Why are you taking cookies and freaking Christmas over there? Like, what? Are you trying to butter people up in case your kid did get loose? Mary Beth, me too. I wish that they would give it. I think as a creator, you know, we know, like they know, I think I know why I can't, because then everyone would ask and then I would have that obligation, you know, because they would know that I could do that. But I don't know why you guys can't. That's why I think that's why they don't give it to creators anyway. So it says, at this point, Russell had consumed the food, so Debbie made him a bag with small snacks in it. An ambulance arrived at 11:02 a.m. Wow, that's quick. The EMTs immediately ascertained that the duct tape covered deep wounds, and they ceased cutting the tape off. When asked how he got them, Russell said rope. The wounds were the same on both ankles and wrist. The EMTs asked him to walk to the ambulance because they needed to treat him there. The police officer wanted to carry him, but Russell was determined to walk. He's going to be a strong boy. He's a strong boy, and he's going to be a strong man when he grows up. I pray that the Lord gives him some strength. Debbie gave him her sandals so he could walk across our sharp driveway rocks. The ambulance didn't move for about half an hour, then left for the hospital. That's a while. Wow. I mean, even to stabilize somebody, that they usually just do that on the way to the hospital. Oh, thank you. We try not to bring it over here, you know? Try not to. People try to bring it in here, and I say, no way, Jose. And Janet just kills them with kindness. And then Vincent's lurking in the background. I wish I knew Brian. I mean, really, like what? This is stuff we've never heard. The police arrived simultaneously with the ambulance. He observed Russell's wounds and heard Russell say rope had caused them. He gently asked Russell a few more questions, got his mother's name is Ruby Franke, home in Springville. Not the last 13 months, buddy. You were over there at Jodi's, you know? I'm glad that they went to Jodi's, didn't go to Springfield. He then stepped away to communicate. Within minutes, things began to happen fast. He told us the police were all responding to this one. Wow. Numerous police vehicles quickly arrived. It was obvious the police took Russell and his sister's situation extremely seriously. We advised them we thought Jodi's house had a full basement with a panic/safe room. I've always wanted one of those, but no, not for that reason, just for safety. We have a video of Russell's arrival and several minutes thereafter on our Ring doorbell system. And we will be watching that in the future in its entirety, but I think they may have some of that on tonight's episode. Well, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, no, that's me, Jana. I don't like drama at all. I woke up. What was it? I like to just tell this part of the story because it's funny. I woke up. It was like January 1st. I had like 2 threatening emails telling me if I didn't like go after somebody, this and that. And then I was watching one live and someone was talking about me and I'm like, what did I do? I was like, Happy New Year. I was like going around just like laughing about it. Cause I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? You know, what do you do really? It's YouTube. People take it too serious. They really do. They take it so serious. And it's like, this isn't like, I don't know how to explain it. They don't need to fight with each other, you know? Like, it's going to be okay. Look at this picture. I just love this picture of Jodi. She looks so sad. Now, if you see the picture of Ruby, her mugshot, let me see if I can find that real quick. She freaking smiling in that thing. She's like, I'm ready to go to prison. Is this it? I thought this one might not be it. I thought she had a bigger smirk. Might be this one though. She's still smirking in it. Look at that. She's ready. Eyebrows are gone. Hair is gone. She looks like she hasn't slept in a long time. Look at them bags. Hope she doesn't get one lick of sleep rest of her life. Just me. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll start playing this here. And if you guys don't mind just taking a second, smash the like button, all the good stuff. And let me share this with you. That might be good, huh? So we can all watch it together. And I'll start playing this here.
It feels like I was being set up to end up here.
And basically what this is going to give us is it says 15 most horrifying pieces of evidence in YouTube mom case. So it's going to give us like a little bit of like photos, videos, jail calls, and all that. And like I said in the beginning of the live on Monday, I will be putting in a FOIA request to try to get all the jailhouse calls like continuing on. That way we don't have to wait for other people to put those out. We'll have them.
I mean, I shouldn't be here. I haven't done anything wrong.
This is a witch hunt. The devil's been after me for years.
Are you aware of the physical condition of your children?
No.
Yeah, you were.
No. I've chosen to trust my wife with the children.
It is here. We have just reviewed the newly released materials in the Ruby Franke case, interviews, jailhouse phone calls, and disturbing journal entries.
One thing before I let it go, like let it play for a while. When Ruby and Kevin had their YouTube channel, they were doing horrific things to their children together. Kevin and Ruby. There was no Jodi. She might have been in the background, but she wasn't there when they took their 17-year-old boy's son, their 17-year-old son's bed away from him, and they made him sleep on a beanbag chair for 7 months. Took Christmas away from their 2 youngest for 1 year, or took Christmas away. Said, sorry, not getting Christmas. Made the little girl go to stay through school hungry because she was 6 years old and she forgot to pack her lunch and take it to school that day. I mean, those are just a little bit of the allegations. Or I mean, the things, they're not allegations, the things that she did. It's on camera. It's on video. And Kevin was right there.
We break
Don't get
all
it.
of this down
Now look at that little boy's legs.
for you.
Kevin didn't know
right
about this.
now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, if you have been following
a
us here
trigger
on
ban
Sidebar,
in.
if you have been following the Ruby Franke case from the beginning, this is a very big day. Utah authorities have just released a treasure trove of new videos, audio tapes, and photos in this criminal case. And I will tell you something right now. This is a lot. This is really important. If you want to know a new context, understanding, a perspective on what went down here, this is it. This is a comprehensive summary of everything that was just released. Now, before we even get into the materials themselves, I'm going to set the stage. So Ruby Franke, she was the once popular mommy vlogger. She started the now defunct 8 Passengers YouTube channel with her husband, Kevin Franke, documented their lives with their 6 children. It was eventually shut down in the wake of child abuse allegations. People took issue with their parenting techniques in these videos, like one child being forced to sleep on a beanbag for months, another one where the couple's young daughter was not provided lunch for school. But you fast
guess I didn't have
forward
to say
to
anything.
August 2023, and Ruby Franke and her purported business partner, Jodi Hildebrandt, are arrested. Each of them are charged with aggravated child abuse after 2 of Ruby's youngest children, identified as RF and EF, were found at Jodi's home. They had been malnourished. They had injuries. Evidence suggested that RF was tied up. He had duct tape on his limbs. He sustained severe wounds. RF had actually escaped Jodi's residence, climbed out of a window. He was the one who ran into a neighbor who called 911. And that is when the boy's sister was found by police hiding in a closet, absolutely terrified. In fact, the case summary that accompanied this document release reads, quote, "The ensuing investigation revealed that Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt held Franke's 12-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter in a work camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. They were also prohibited from interacting with others and were hidden in the home when others came to visit. They were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and sitting against a wall without a chair or stool for hours at a time. The children were also forced to do manual labor outdoors in the extreme summer heat without shoes or socks. They were similarly forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was bound hand and foot after a previous attempt at running away. Additionally, the children suffered emotional abuse to the extent that they came to believe that they deserved the abuse. The investigation found that religious extremism motivated Miss Franke and Miss Hildebrandt to inflict this horrific abuse. The women appeared to fully believe that the abuse they inflicted was necessary to teach the children how to properly repent for imagined sins and to cast the evil spirits out of their bodies. Just unbelievable. And we know that Ruby and Jodi, they work together as part of Connections, the life services coaching organization. Jodi was listed as a mental health counselor. Ruby was listed as a mental fitness trainer. They both ended up pleading guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse each, both sentenced to 4 terms to run consecutively, meaning one after the other. But in Utah, it's not up to the judge to set the exact prison sentence. It's actually up to the Board of Pardons and Paroles. They determine when these women would be released. So what we're talking about with the law is they can't serve more than a maximum of 30 years in prison. So really, it's about 4 to 30 years in prison as their sentence. That's what we mean. And by the way, I should also tell you as we go through this, when we talk about Kevin Franke, he filed for divorce from Ruby Franke. Keep that in mind. Well, after the conclusion of this legal case,
He wants the house. He wants the money. He wants the kids.
the Washington County authorities released these materials. And with that release came a press release that reads in part, quote, "Neither Ruby Franke nor Jodi Hildebrandt appealed their convictions for aggravated child abuse. Pursuant to the Utah Government Records Access and Management Act and the practices of this office, all of the case records classified as public are now available." with that, let's get into it. First up, we are going to start with this absolutely heartbreaking footage from a security camera outside of a home. And it shows RF, Ruby's 12-year-old son, after he escaped from Jodi's home. And in this video, you see him in a long shirt and either what
They
appears
do
to
look
be
like lava rocks.
underwear or shorts, going over to this house, walking over to the front door, ringing the bell, waiting at the door. No one answers. I mean, it appears
Look
he's
at how big the shirt
emaciated.
is
He
on
has
him.
these incredibly thin legs. Looks like blood or wounds are on his legs. No shoes. He looks incredibly weak. But then we actually have this other video from when RF arrived at the neighbor's home, the neighbor who ended up calling 911.
Yes. Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
Just one's fine, he
What's going
said.
on, son? Have a seat there.
It's personal business.
Have a seat. What's your name?
I'm trying to find a layout that it won't cover my face,
I-
and I'm covering my face again.
We then see video of these neighbors giving RF food because he was clearly so hungry.
He's hungry and he's a young man. He's had up with various stocking feet. So he escaped.
We need the police here now.
I don't know.
Can you remember that now infamous 911 phone call from that neighbor? Very emotional. Well, here's a different angle. Here is him on the phone with 911 dispatch, but it's captured from his home surveillance cam.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he had just came from a neighbor's house and he's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs. He's hungry and he's thirsty.
Need someone immediately.
It's heartbreaking.
Aw.
It's just tough to listen to no matter what angle we're showing that. But let's go to the body cam footage. That was big in this release. And we're going to start it off with body cam footage of Jodi Hildebrandt.
I
when
love
she
that
is
door, though.
taken out of her home by officers as they are searching her house.
Only thing good about
Open the
her.
door! Jodi, I need you to step out.
I have my attorney.
That's great. Step out of the house.
Look at her.
Step out of the house. Step out
Got
of the
my
house.
attorney.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
We're just gonna see
Whoa,
if
whoa,
anybody else.
whoa.
Is there anybody else home?
Wait a minute, how do you come in my house?
Right there.
Look, they go on into my house.
Just have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant?
Have a seat right
Do you
there.
have a search
Have
warrant?
a seat right there.
It's called I Don't Give a F. We're going into your home because we have suspicion that there is a child that needs our attention in there.
I'll explain everything after. Have a seat right there. We're here on exigent
So sit
circumstances.
down.
And I'll explain it after this, after my sergeant and the
House
officer
is
are done
amazing.
clearing the house. Is there anybody else in the house?
Yes,
2 kids?
there's a little girl.
Just one?
She's right over here.
Okay. How old is she?
She'll be 10 next week.
Okay.
Throughout this video, you see Jodi almost shocked, trying to fight crying. You see her at one point sitting on the couch, not really doing anything. Police then end up finding a child in what appears to be a closet.
How you going for the union here? Hey, you okay? Is this just you in here?
This is so sad.
I'm Sergeant Tobler. What's your name?
Now, this is a broken child. Like when I watched this the first time, I'm just gonna give you a trigger warning. It literally almost looks like a scary movie. She's just hiding in a closet.
I just have one. Where's your sister at? Contact one. You okay? Huh? You doing okay? You don't want to talk to me? Yeah, that's okay. Can you come with me though? We got
It's
Jodi
Eve.
out.
It is a little
You and
girl. They
Jodi?
cut her hair off.
She's outside with us. You take your time, bud. I'm in a hurry. I'm a police officer. Did you know that?
They did that to humiliate her. ALR.
Okay.
Disgusting.
Do you need help?
Now, it appears that that is EF. RF.
Sorry to keep pausing it, but if I think that could, the cutting of the hair, that's part of being like a girl. You know what I mean? Like that's part of being a girl. That emotional abuse right there, probably to her in some sort of form, was worse than the physical that they were causing.
RF's younger sister, we believe 10
Terrible.
years old at the time. And it seems like officers think that she's a boy at first, maybe because of her physical condition. She was so emaciated. And there's a conversation more in these recordings where it seems that Ruby had maybe cut her hair or threatened to cut her hair, so that could have contributed to as well. But the child doesn't appear to say anything. And then you hear an officer describe this horrific situation over his body cam when he's outside.
It's underneath the tape. As soon as they took it off, you can, even outside, you can smell. You can smell the flesh. And then
What do you say? You can smell.
transport or put them in the ambulance.
He says you can smell flesh. What do you say?
This horrific situation over his body cam when he's outside.
It's underneath the tape. As soon as they took it off, you can, even outside, you can smell. You can smell the flesh.
I think that's what he said. He did say flesh, didn't he? Oh my God.
And then the transport or put him in the ambulance. I went in there. They started cutting more off of it. You can see the wounds on the back of his ankles, around the front of his ankles, and then on his wrists as well. Yeah, he said he was tied on the ground with a rope. That's where the wounds came from. Yeah, with ropes on all four of his extremities. And that's where the wounds came from. They put cayenne pepper mixed with honey, he said, on the wounds, and then covered that with the plastic saran wrap and then the duct tape over the wounds.
There are a lot more videos too. There is body cam of police gathering evidence. There is body cam of searching a room found behind a giant safe door. There is more body cam where there is no audio. There appears to be a video of maybe RF walking around a cemetery.
Look at that.
But I have to call out this very, very disturbing video of RF in the ambulance being treated for his injuries.
How did you get the ropes on you? Who did them? You're not in trouble with me, okay? We're just trying to figure out what's going on. Our main focus right now is you, okay? Who put the ropes on you? Supposed to help you what?
And I will tell you, going through this today was not easy. It is incredibly difficult. But imagine being one of the first responders to this scene. Here's an EMT worker fighting back tears.
Oh man, her face is red.
I'll take more. If you want me to send them to you.
Now let's talk about Ruby Franke, because there is also this video of when Ruby arrives at the house. She was informed the police were there. She shows up, and you see her being patted down, and she just sits on the couch at one point. Doesn't say a word. In fact, she's not very responsive to officers in general.
Place your hands on your back for me. Perfect.
She knew she was
You don't have
busted.
anything on you that I should know about, correct? Any weapons, anything that we're going to find. Before you put you in a police vehicle, we need to search your person to make sure you don't have anything on you. Is there anything you have on you? Okay, I'm going to search you before we put you in his car. That's just protocol, so I'm just going to have you step right over here and then just widen your legs, widen your stance. Yep, perfect. Are you wearing a bra? Okay, I'm just going to go like this through and make sure you don't have anything. You said you're not wearing a bra? Okay.
Now, she admits in one of her Jailhouse recordings, oh, don't worry, we're going to get into those, where she said she purposely didn't say anything to law enforcement. It seemed like that was the advice that she got from her counsel, to not say anything. But even when she's brought to the station, she's not really cooperative.
Do you live down here or? Or do you live up north? Do you want to talk to me?
Y'all, this right here, this is some Lori Daybell Vallow shit if I've ever seen it. Look at her. Look at, not saying a word, just hanging her out. Yeah, she's got water. Look at her. She's got some water. More than her kid had, huh? More than her kid had. Probably why she's not drinking it.
Tell me about where you live or how many kids you have.
You know how to talk. You have 2.3 million followers on YouTube.
So we just spoke with your husband, and he said you guys have 6 kids. Are those all together? Are those all your kids? I can wait all day. So it's up to you if you want to talk to us about what's going on.
I mean, I'm not asking any criminal questions. If you don't want to talk to us, just let us know and we'll be done.
I've already told you.
That you want a lawyer? Okay.
Here.
Okay. Easy enough.
Thank you.
When I'm watching this, by the way, I can't help but be reminded of what Ruby said during her sentencing. You might remember this. Remember when she said that she was taught that the world was an evil place and it was filled with cops who control? That might be why she's not saying anything. That might be why she seems to have this distrust of law enforcement or doesn't want to talk to them. If she was under that distorted belief, there you go. Well, let's also talk about the video of Jodi's interrogation.
I'm a little nervous.
You know, to be honest with you, if I was sitting over there, I'd be a little nervous too. So don't worry about it. We're just here to talk, to get your side.
I watched too many detective movies.
Have you?
So I trust my attorney. He said, don't say anything. And I said, I don't
She's-
know that. And he's like, I know that. But just let me be there with you when we talk.
Okay, so I mean, looking at these, Ruby does appear to be like kind of like a deer in the headlights, but that could just be that could be anything. She could be already knowing, like she could have already had this in her mind, like if I get caught, this is how I'm gonna act, right? But then you got Jodi over here. She's like, my attorney said this is what I'm supposed to do. Where's my attorney? She knows the law and she's calm. Look at her. Hands aren't even shaking. Watch when she's talking.
So you guys seem
Not at
nice
all.
people.
I'd be like this.
Not trying to hide anything. Not trying to be difficult. This is really, if you knew all the pieces, I think you'd have a lot of empathy for what's going on. I'd like to just tell you, but I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're gonna flip my words. I don't know.
And that's the good thing about cameras. Everything, it's pretty much double recorded, audio, video, and it's for the safety of for you and for us because we don't want to flip your words. And this will all be pretty much right there to support you. So we're not going to use anything against you.
Be so insistent then. He's an honest, good man, goes to church. I trust him. Why would he say that to me then?
I don't know.
He's an attorney.
I don't know your attorney, to be honest.
Well, I'm just saying he's
So
a good honest man.
the one that's the mom, she's the therapist, and then the other lady is Ruby, the mom. This is Jodi.
Yeah,
And I'm an honest person as well, so we get along great. And he just said, do not say anything. I'm a psychologist. I've watched people flip things all the time. So I get it. I sit on your side. I get it. I wish people didn't do that. They do.
And one of the final videos we got was of officers taking Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt to jail.
All right, I'm gonna have you stand up, all right? Thank you. Go ahead and face this officer. Go ahead and put your
Jodi's probably going to start crying.
You know, your fingers, please. Thank you. Just put your hands on top of your head. You're good. Look to your left.
But I didn't do anything.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll get you a card when you can get with Adam and schedule that, okay?
How do I schedule that if you guys are on the phone?
We'll give you a card with the phone number.
You can go out the front door to my vehicle out there. Hop on in. I'll help you, Penny.
I had a crash on the right side, and my shoulder screwed up.
Okay. All right, step up, please. Thank you. Go and face that officer. Put your hands on top of your head, please. And unlace your fingers. Thank you. Go on top of your head. Look to your left. Thank you. I just don't want to hit you in the head. That's what they call. Okay. Go down.
I just want to let you know what criminal charges for, so you're under arrest. It's going to be 2 counts, second-degree felony of child abuse or neglect, okay? You understand that or no?
Come on, Ruby, you understand it.
Are you okay? I'm wondering if there's like a medical clearance that needs to, like, do you need medical attention before you go to the jail? Okay.
For the malnourishment, you guys are in direct custody of those kids. Okay, do you have any questions for me at this time? No questions? Okay, you can hop in.
Now, we also received a lot of photos from Utah authorities in this document dump. Many of them show the inside and outside of Jodi Hildebrandt's home in Ivins. The house itself is huge with staircases, corridors, doors, every direction the police looked at as they searched the home. We never really got a good grasp of what this house was like until now. Some of the photographs show.
Couldn't they, like, instead of bounding these kids, couldn't they just throw them in a room? There's a million of them in the house. I mean, they could get away from them, like, if they needed to be. Go and play in the room forever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They didn't need to do what they did. This is
Evidence that
ridiculous.
investigators were compiling against the women, including pictures of the duct tape, rope, gauze, the cayenne pepper and honey solution that they used to treat wounds. Other pictures showed pantries full of food that the children were clearly not allowed to eat. And still, there were these other photos that showed the actual wounds to both RF and EF. And I will tell you, they are just too graphic to show. It's too much. And as we've mentioned, RF still had duct tape on his ankles and wrists when he was taken to the hospital with what appeared to be infected wounds underneath. And I'll say this, these wounds, seeing them, worse than I could have imagined. Now, Ruby Franke's journal entries, that's what we're going to get into next. This was one of the largest documents released in this massive information dump. It is a 60-page journal, apparently written by Ruby Franke. Not only does it give a timeline of events, but it records the brutal treatment of these 2 children. Some parts of the journal have been completely blacked out by officials. They've been redacted, but what remains, it really leaves nothing to the imagination. At the beginning of the journal on a page.
Sorry to interrupt again. I'm not going to interrupt for a while now. Okay, so I was looking at this earlier and I was wondering if my copy was just like redacted or if it was, everybody. So I'm glad I know.
Timeline. The journal says that Jodi received a blessing from the temple president on May 21st, 2023. Then Ruby, along with her 4 minor-age children, went down to Jodi's house to do, quote, spring cleaning. The first mention of punishments for RF are on June 30th, 2023, when the journal states, quote, he refuses to do wall sits and says he's done. The next day, it's noted that RF has to sleep outside. On July 14th, we have our first mention of EF. It states,
sleep outside. Aren't there like crazy animals out there?
Has hair shaved off. It also states that the next day, RF ran away in the middle of the night and Ruby found him a couple hours later. So clearly not his first escape attempt. So then there are several redacted pages, and then the journal seems to jump back in time to a little bit to July 9th and July 10th. On the 10th, the journal states, quote, it's R's birthday, and he doesn't even know what month it is. E and R have been in so much deviant behavior, they won't control their bodily functions. They are both furious. Their selfish, sinful lifestyle is being intervened upon. I told R he emulates a snake. He slithers and sneaks around looking for opportunities when no one is watching, and then he scurries. If he wants to emulate the Savior, he needs to be 100% obedient with exactness, no wavering, no hiding. No wonder that the prosecutors said that this was also a form of emotional abuse as well. Really putting the blame on these young children. What do you think they're thinking? Then a few pages later, Ruby writes, quote, E is better behaved with Jodi. She likes to think she can still manipulate me. I gave her a pixie haircut. All her long hair is gone. No more distracting with hair. R told me he would rather have a glass of water than me as his mother. And we know that both children were being denied food and water. Ruby even writes that RF was caught stealing water from the garden hose. Stealing? Ruby also writes, quote, E told me she figures they had been here 8 weeks. I asked E if she felt like she had made progress over the 8 weeks. Yes. I told her she was delusional. She made no progress. She continues to lie and manipulate. Last night, her screaming and headbanging were evidence of no change. By the way, we're talking about a 9, 10-year-old at this time. On July 14th, Ruby writes, quote, E woke up. I reminded her that if she whined, cried, or squinted her eyes at me or soured her face, I would be buzzing her hair. If she was going to act sick, she can look sick. She agreed.
Do you guys remember, where the heck am I at? Oh, I'm behind the screen. I'm like, where am I at? Do you guys remember when they had the YouTube channel and Ruby's holding her stuffed animal, Eve's? And I think Eve's maybe like, she's probably maybe 5 at the time, maybe younger. And she's like, I'm going to cut its head off. Do you remember her saying that? Well, when I was watching stuff last night, Vincent was like, what'd she just say? He's like, why would she do that? Why would she say that? Guess is as good as mine. Well, Bill coming in with the 5 more membership. Man, we're going to have so many members, we're not going to know what to do with them. Everyone's going to be a member. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for being a member of the channel for so long. That's amazing.
With a smile.
Welcome in
I told her because she
all
didn't
of you
listen
new
the night
members.
before, she would do 2 sets
I'll have to
of
see how many we have
boxes
now.
and stairs with a 5-minute break. She did the first set easily and agreeably. After 5 minutes of rest, she began whimpering. When she got to the bottom of the stairs, she slipped and dropped the box. I put her in the dog wash and shaved her head, then back to the boxes. This is disgusting. And we also know that Ruby and
dog
Jodi
wash?
forced the children to stand outside in the hot sun in the Utah summer where it can get up to 120 degrees. In a journal entry, Ruby writes, quote, when E was outside today and it was hot, she acted like she was dying. So pitiful. I told her the heat in hell is much hotter than God is going to burn the wicked. So either get used to it or start changing. The journal also describes what happened when RF ran away in July. He had been made to sleep outside on the patio near Ruby's bedroom. She woke up in the middle of the night and he was gone. She and Jodi both went out in the cars to look for him. And she writes, quote, then I see R walking on the left side of the road. I called Jodi to let her know. I turn the car around and stop. I get out of the car. R is shocked to see me. Get in the car. Are you shocked to see me? R nods his head and gets in. Me and R in the front. 2:45, I woke up. 3, we leave in cars. 3:14 a.m., I called Jodi with R. The sun started lighting the roads just an hour and a half later. The devil wants me in prison. My children dead. I meet Jodi back home. Ruby continually talks about her children being evil, possessed by demons, and unwilling to repent. She writes about locking them in closets, poking them with a cactus, making them do physical exercise for hours. She also writes that Jodi has been actively looking for land to buy in Arizona where they could really dig into fixing the kids. Can you imagine if that happened? Would these kids even be alive? But this also, I will tell you from a legal point of view, fills in a lot of those details that we read about in their respective plea agreement documents, the specific details of abuse. And I imagine these entries are what proved what happened to these kids. And it shows how tough it would have been for them to defend themselves at a criminal trial when you have these kind of journal entries. As if the physical injuries and the accounts of the kids weren't enough. Just read this stuff. Look, this is incredibly tough subject matter. And I know I always say it, but I'm going to say it again. It is our privilege to be able to bring you these stories, to break them down for you. And the reason we're able to continually do that is because of the support that we get from our very special partners. And I just want to highlight sponsor of this episode, Morgan & Morgan. Not all law firms are created equal. That's clear. Morgan the Jailhouse phone calls. These calls are almost always recorded, and inmates and defendants,
They're always
people on the other
recorded.
side of the line, they know this, and yet they say things. But we knew about these calls. Remember when Eric Clark, the Washington County attorney during Jodi's sentencing, alluded to these recorded calls as evidence that Hildebrandt never has showed remorse for what she did? So in these calls, which are labeled October 17th and October 18th, 2023, You hear Jodi seemingly defending her actions, and there seems to be a religious justification or rationale.
It feels like I was being set up to end up here. I know that sounds bizarro. I mean, I shouldn't be here. I haven't done anything wrong. And I don't know if I'm going to be like some kind of example, but when I get out of here, I have a story to tell, and I'm going to try to do everything I can to protect the children, because that's what's happening is that kids are being just horribly abused. Nightmare here, Dennis. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth, because these kids, I told Doug, I woke up, the spirit told me, it's all the devil. I mean, you've seen him. I mean, I've known you, for 5 years? You've watched him come at me, come at me, come at me, come at me. And you're exactly right, because he knows I know what he's doing. And he uses these kids. And he uses all of us as the adults, the parents that don't hold the kids accountable. So now it's abusive to make a kid sleep on the floor. It's abusive, or it's abusive to,
It
it's
is.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't even.
If your kid slept on the floor for one night, I mean, you didn't make your kid, that'd be one thing. But forcing your children to sleep on the floor for months, almost years on end, is a whole different ballpark. Would you like to sleep on the concrete, Jodi? Oh, wait, you're going to be, you are right now. Because they only give you a thin little gym, like one of those little gym mats, the foldable gym mats. That's what you get in jail, prison. So, yeah, they're not going to be sleeping in comfort. No down comforters for them anymore. No nice pillows. No $1 million homes. No $1 million subscribers. Or million subscribers, which she didn't have. She had like 5,000.
Raise your kids anymore. He doesn't seem really animated. He seems like,
These two together had like
pictures-
5,000 subscribers.
Pictures are going to destroy you. And I'm like, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. Did we put that on him and then he rubbed around and cut himself? Yes. But we
Did it
didn't
to
do
himself.
Wow. I want you to keep in mind that the idea of the devil and the evil spirit, keep that in mind. But the idea that either she is not taking responsibility for the injuries of the children or that it's not really abuse, this is why it wouldn't be so surprising if the Board of Pardons and Paroles may not be so quick to release Jodi. But the jailhouse phone calls weren't just from Jodi Hildebrandt. No. We also heard from Ruby Franke. And there is a bit of a progression here because listen to what she says when she's first arrested. Specifically, it seems about the kids' injuries. And this appears to be calls that she had with Kevin Franke, her husband, the day after she was arrested. They're labeled August 31st, 2023.
This is a witch hunt. The devil's been after me for years.
They're going to be in the hospital for 3 days.
Her eyes look evil.
So weird. It's just not necessary. They're trying to exaggerate this.
Well, they didn't show me any pictures or anything, but the way they described it, it was very serious.
So the way that I hear that is she is basically saying the kids' injuries are overblown, which, by the way, if you recall during her sentencing, didn't she say something to the effect of the minute the officers put the cuffs on her, she had been set free, she knew that she did wrong, something to that effect?
Sure did.
That
Found
doesn't
Jesus
seem
too.
to be
3 months she was
consistent
in there.
because it seems like she was still defensive and justifying what she did in the immediate aftermath of her arrest. And by the way, remember, as I said before, when she's arrested by law enforcement, she's not that cooperative. She's not even talking to them. By the way, that reference to a witch hunt and that the devil had been out for her for years could possibly be referring to the fact that the Frankes had faced controversy for some time over their videos, the allegations of child abuse. But again, in the first few days of this arrest, you hear Ruby defending not only herself, but Jodi. And the man on the call with her, Kevin Franke, or it seems to be Kevin Franke, seems to be supporting her.
But the most upsetting thing is that I am completely misunderstood. That is the most horrible feeling. Like my own family misunderstands me. They misinterpret me. And poor Jodi, they misinterpret her. They misunderstand her.
What about the
She
rest
puts
of
her
us?
neck
The
out on the line
2.3
for
million.
people, and then they get mad at her. I mean, it is just horrendous. It's horrendous. And you know what? Every Joseph Smith, every wonderful man of God has had to be misunderstood.
That's right.
And so I'm going to get out of this. Who knows? Maybe in 10 days I'll get out of this. If I'm, if truth prevails right now, or, who knows, like 20 years? I don't know. I don't know how long. But I'm going to step out. I'm going to say I went through everything. God told me when I was driving before I called you. I didn't have any information. I didn't know anything. And the Spirit said, your children are going to be removed.
Truth in our family. And
thank you.
I'm committed to our family. I'm committed to you and our marriage, no matter what happens.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will be here to support you in any way that I can.
Shut the front freaking door, Kevin. You're trying to get divorced from her, right? And you're trying to get your kids, your custody of your kids, right? Am I missing something here? But he's saying he's going to stick by her side no matter what? Can we lock him up for that? Like, can we lock him up for something? There's got to be something. We should be able to lock people up for just being dumb. We should lock this guy up for he has a purse on his side. Look at that. That's not a good look. That's not a man's satchel. That is a purse under the jacket. Making fun of him. Is Ashley in here? She's here. Is
Thank you for
okay.
stepping up.
I didn't hear on there.
Really believes that? Yeah. We're going to get to Kevin in just a minute because he has a police interview. But I mentioned how there was this change with Ruby, defending herself, defending Jodi. That changed as time went on because this is only the next month, labeled October 27th, 2023.
I really did feel like the arrest was like a rescue. Like I just felt so many angels around, and it was like a relief. It was just really kind of surreal.
That's consistent with what she said at her sentencing, the brainwashing, her eyes finally waking up to what she had done, and that Jodi Hildebrandt had controlled and manipulated her, if you believe that. Well, listen to what Ruby says now in December 2023 on 2 separate phone calls.
I could not come out of this without his grace, without his mercy, without his help. This has been the strangest and the most miraculous intervention. It put everybody where they needed to be. It separated me from Jodi, so I'm not hearing her. And I think just being gone and not hearing her has cleared a lot of things up for me.
Did you see that Jodi pled guilty today?
I did see that. Yes. Is that a relief for you?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that big ring on her finger.
It's a big relief.
It's a shame you can't wear that in
There
prison.
would have been positive the other way too. Had she not pled guilty, there's enough evidence that she could have been convicted for life. But that would have been messy. It would have been really messy. Jodi, she can lie on her paperwork, and she probably will. I don't think she's going to give them her history. But I think in the interview, it's going to be apparent that she's mentally ill. And so that will affect how long someone, because they're looking, how repentant are you? How much responsibility are you taking? How are you aware that what you've done is wrong? And
There are just some things. I'm sorry. There's a special place in hell for you.
And she's the only reason she pled is because she didn't want to do life. She knew I would testify. How gullible was I? Oh my gosh, how much power I gave this person, and I didn't see it. He's like, Jodi denies everything. She denies having anything to do with this, and I was shocked. I was like, what? And I'm still telling Lamar, like, all of the justifications and all of the you know, I'm talking like a criminal. I sound like a mad person. He was so patient with me. He was so patient with me. He would just look at me and like kind of dumbfounded,
I have that sweater.
like I said 2 + 2 is 7, and I really believed it. And he would just stare at me. I'm like, what am I saying that's so off? And but that's because I really believed it. But then when I heard that Jodi was not talking like that, she was denying the whole thing. It told me she knew all along. And then I was like, crap, what am I saying? And that's when things kind of started turning. I was like, she's not been honest. I didn't know she wasn't honest. I didn't know she would lie. And it's like, what else has she been lying about? Where else have I been deceived?
And by the way, Ruby Franke had already pled guilty by this time. So again, if you believe Ruby, if you take her at her word on this call and what she said during sentencing, then she was completely manipulated by Jodi Hildebrandt, right? I do wonder, after her mental health evaluation that she referenced and some of this other evidence, if it would actually help her to be released earlier than Jodi Hildebrandt. It's hard to say. She did
No.
plead guilty to severely abusing her own children. So manipulation
did
or
Jodi.
deception or brainwashing maybe can only go so far. Okay, now moving on, in this evidence drop, there were 2 interviews with Kevin.
I'm just going to say this. I mean, I've never been brainwashed before. But like, as you're getting brainwashed, especially towards your children, wouldn't there be a point before you're actually brainwashed to where you would like retract and go, hold on a second here. That doesn't sound right. I don't think we should duct tape my kids. Or maybe it started with just locking them in another room. I don't think we should lock my kids up in the safe room in the basement. I would think, but I mean, I don't know. I've never been. I don't think she has either, but I've never been
Franke, Ruby's husband, now estranged husband. He's filed for divorce. One was in person with the police at the Ivins police station on the day that Jodi and Ruby were arrested and the children were taken to the hospital. And we're going to start with this first in-person interview. The police are trying to piece together exactly what is going on here. Kevin seems to not really know what's going on. He tells the police he got a call that he needed to come pick the kids up in Ivins, but he won't tell them who called him. We learned through Kevin's attorney as the investigation progressed that it was Ruby that called Kevin to say that there was an emergency, but at the time of this interview, he kept that to himself. We actually heard that before when he was speaking to Ruby about how she called him, but let's hear what he had to say to law enforcement.
So are they all living with you, or?
No, I haven't seen them for over a year.
Any of them?
No, none of them.
For a year?
Over a year.
Okay.
I've been in a separation.
From who?
From my wife and family.
What's your wife's name?
Ruby.
Ruby. When was the last time you saw Ruby?
The last time I saw her was the 18th of this month. We met she requested me to sign over vehicles for the title.
Hold on a second here. Hold up a damn second. He said he hadn't been there in his children's or in their life for 13 months. He said, I have not heard from my wife. I have not seen my wife in 13 months. Do y'all remember that? So was he saying that this was like the year before? Because if not, then if this was just that same year, like a few weeks before, then why didn't he ask about his children and say, bring the kids? Bring the kids. Where are the kids? I want to see my kids. Haven't seen my kids. You know, my youngest, my babies, my baby boy, my baby girl, my 2 youngest. Where are my kids? It's gotta sign them papers, get rid of them cars. Gotta get rid of them. That's what I thought a month prior. Because I was going to say, I didn't hear no 2023 or 2020. Well, it was 2023 at the time. I didn't hear 2022. So, wow. And look, he's got the purse again. I wonder what's in there. I want to know. Well, what do you think he has in there? Gum? His notes, probably won't know what to say.
She drives.
You know, there's no pictures of his kids in there.
When's the last time you physically saw Russell or Eve?
The day that I moved out, July 24th, 2020.
Groovy Nikki.
24th
Hey, Bird.
2020.
Or July 25th, July 25th.
So it's my understanding that at least
He's probably got 6 tubes
home
of
here
chapstick in there.
Kennington, Ivans. Have you been to that home?
No,
You've not been to that home?
no, I don't know. I don't know what's anything that's been going on.
Like, this is good, man. Like, I would love to be able to help you out with this, and like, I'm seeing the light of being this channel because I'm unaware of your involvement in what's really going on. So for you to say that you're unaware of the status of your kids kind of makes, I know that sounds kind of crummy to you, but it sounds kind of good to me. Like, who lives in that home with your, is it ex-wife? Is it currently a separated wife? Like, who lives in that home with your children?
To be honest, I don't
Nobody.
know. I know that she's there with 4 of the children, and our 2 older children have moved out.
Have you communicated with
They were
your
at the
wife
Springfield home.
regarding like disciplining with your kids or their care or their physical well-being?
No.
Interrogations.
So is she doing this on her own and just telling you how your kids are?
She's not telling me anything about it.
The investigators ask about Jodi Hildebrandt, the owner of the home where the children were found.
Female Jodi that your wife was. Do you know a female named Jodi?
She is a therapist and a life coach, I know, and she's.
Do you respect her?
Do I respect her? Yeah, I think she's a very honest, truthful person. Yes.
Okay.
Very honest, beautiful person. I want you to marinate on that one for a second as we get to what he says in a future interview. Kevin explains a little bit more about connections and how his wife Ruby had got involved with the business.
Are you involved with their business efforts or
no?
Okay. So just Ruby and Jodi. No
In
Kevin.
the business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And were you involved in the 8 passengers account with your family?
Yes. I was in the videos, and if that's what you mean.
I briefly learned.
You were the father of the 8 passengers. Father, mother, 6 kids. That's what the whole channel was about. Life, family, vlogging. Not Ruby. Not just Ruby. It was Ruby and Kevin equally.
Learned about this 2 hours ago.
So did Ruby more so do the videos for the family? And how long did you guys do that for?
She started the channel in 2015, and as far as I'm aware, from the time I left, the last video she uploaded was towards the end of 2021.
Okay.
And again, I'm not aware of anything she's done since our separation.
Kevin continues to insist that he has no idea what could be going on with the kids and says he focuses on the financial side of things.
Are you aware of the physical condition of your children?
No. I've chosen to trust my wife with the children. That was part of the agreement of our separation.
Is
But you
that
just
you
don't see them?
allow her to physically provide for the needs of the child? You're just removed from that? I mean, you pay support. I know this is personal questions, but
Yes, my job is to financially provide for
I'm just trying to figure out like how much of a role do you play in the caretaking of specifically of those 2 kids?
I pay the bills.
Okay.
With my job, I provide the money, goes into a shared bank account.
Now, this is interesting because Kevin tells police he was dealing with a pornography addiction and that he needed to focus on his problems before returning to be with his family.
Jodi and Ruby have a close relationship, and Jodi saw the need for me to get help. And frankly, I agree. This space has been exactly what I need to face, my own addictions and receive the support and help that I've needed. And so this space has been very, very good for me.
So when you stated that you and Ruby had this no contact that you guys just verbally agreed upon, was that an idea given by Jodi that she recommended you guys have that space and not contact one another?
I'm not aware of that. The invitation for me to leave and take space was from my wife.
Again,
Oh, so okay. Because I was always under the impression that she said Jodi's idea was to keep them away from each other.
take note of how he's blaming himself. Remember that comes up later on. Well, after more than 20 minutes in the interview room, police finally start to reveal a few details about what they discovered at this Ivan's home.
Well, you're the custodial parent of these children. I don't see why we can't explain to you why we're involved. So I don't recall the exact time, but sometime before 11 o'clock today, we received a phone call from 911 on our dispatch that a 12 to 13-year-old boy was knocking on doors in a neighborhood asking for food and water, that he was severely emaciated, that he had...
What is emaciated?
Skinny, scrawny, malnutrition, not enough food, not enough water to sustain life. So he had...
I'm sorry, what?
He had duct tape on his extremities, on his hands, on his ankles, and those were covering rope burns that were used to tie him down.
I kind of believe him a little bit. As oh no, he kind of looks like he's. Let's see what he says
What
though.
I just said. That's the condition of your son.
What about my daughter? That's what I would say.
Given that information, your son was taken to the hospital. A warrant has been applied.
But he could be a great actor, you know.
By the Department of Child and Family Services to remove both from your wife's care. So no one right now is going to have access to these two children based on their physical condition.
That cop's pissed.
That? I understand. Would you condone that behavior?
Would I condone that behavior?
That's my job. My job is to find out your knowledge of the treatment of these.
You're okay. They tell you in interrogation 101, if you're asked a question and you respond with a question back, you're trying to give yourself more time to find an answer. That's exactly what that is. So that cop's probably like, no, you ain't gonna play that with me.
Based on your description, no. Again, I don't know the details or I don't know what's going on, but as you described that sounds
horrible, disgusting. No human being should be treated like that.
Like, why is it? I mean, I thought he was genuinely shocked, but why hasn't he asked about his daughter?
Yeah, okay.
That's my thoughts, but again, we might be different on that.
Maybe they need to draw it on the whiteboard for him.
We're gonna sit here for a second, okay? We're gonna go out and talk. I'm not saying you're still not free to go. Are you under arrest? Absolutely not. We just have lots of questions that we need to figure out. Lots. Okay?
Okay, because...
Your children are under medical care right now.
And what does that mean?
And it means that you don't have access to them. My understanding is that they are, what is that?
They're in the custody of DCFS.
And they will be for the next 7
There's a medical hold on them right now. So for at least the next 72 hours, based on our understanding.
At least the next 7 years.
They're in observation, they're being watched.
DCFS is gonna provide you that information and they can better answer your questions along those lines. That's handled through them. Okay, so we'll be back.
So I want you to think about some things though. I don't know, listen to me.
Look, a lot of questions have been raised about what Kevin did or did not
Listen
know
to me.
about his children. But the police leave Kevin alone in the interview room for a while, where he sits quietly, sometimes crying. When the officers return, Kevin has a question.
What's going to happen with my wife? I love my wife.
I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't know. Haven't had anything to do with
I
it.
don't know if those charges against my wife.
Possibly.
So,
I think given the circumstances, that's highly appropriate. But again,
he's crying more over the wife.
I was hoping to gain some insight from you, but I don't necessarily know that that's something you wanted to,
I trust her.
a road you wanted to travel down with me. So
You got a police officer telling you that your kid was emancipated, malnourished, and you don't even know what the hell that means, and he has to tell you, and you're saying, my wife's getting arrested. I'm so sorry. That sucks for me. You haven't even seen her for 13 months.
yeah, all right, I get it.
But I love that wife and I trust my wife. And so, I mean, this feels
They don't
like
have conjugal visits anymore. Sorry, bud.
what you're sharing with me today.
Yeah, I can tell you're caught off guard.
I thought I was just coming here to pick up my kids, and for what, I don't know what or why. I just want my kids.
That ain't happening.
I just want my kids. I just want my
None of
kids.
them.
Now, Kevin was never in custody. He left shortly after this. He's never been criminally charged. He's never been named as a suspect. But at a later date, Kevin had an interview with law enforcement again, and he told a very different story. Kevin seems to explain that Ruby started to speak to Jodi at the end of 2018, early 2019, with the intention of her being a therapist for either one or more of the children. Some of the call is bleeped out, but that's probably why. And then you're going to listen to what happened next.
Jodi always had a larger interest in communicating with the parents more than with the actual patient, which I've always found curious. But her theory was, if you want to help your child, you have to help yourself first, and then you'll know how to help the child. So she spoke with Ruby frequently. It got strange around the fall of 2020. The Hannahs were trying to convince and bring Ruby into thank you. Thanks. Into this organization called Connections. And
Emancipated would make, that'd be good for them.
on things like lust versus love and healthy marriages, happier marriages, happier relationships. She invited me to go to it was like a conference or something held at Thanksgiving Point in Lehigh. And my impression at that time was this is absolute craziness. This is a bunch of man-hating women that are just looking for excuses to tear down their husbands. And I mean, that's what it felt like to me when I was in there. But it was confusing because there were people that I respected a lot that were up on the stage with microphones in hand, giving testimonials of how great this was and how it changed their lives and their marriage. And like the Hannahs were among them, and so.
In my personal humble opinion, if you can't get help for your marriage, within your marriage, really, I mean, unless it's I guess a therapist that's like a license in an actual practice where you go to their office and you sit down, not their home. But I feel like you shouldn't even be married at that point. Call it quits, buddy.
Yeah,
Cut your
it was
losses.
confusing.
You get 3 kids,
this
I
is
get
all
3.
true, by the way. This provides context on
They
how
had
the
6 kids,
relationship
Lenore.
started with Jodi and how and why Kevin started becoming involved. And he talks about how he would join the men's groups, but he was questioning it. He didn't really think that he did anything wrong. And when he talks about that, he then refers to having a deep conversation with his wife, Ruby.
For 2 hours, Ruby very emotionally just shared how she felt in our marriage and how the things that I, over 20 years of marriage, asking for sex as a husband frequently, or asking her to wear lingerie or things like that, how that made her feel. And
the fudge?
it was really emotional. and it touched me. Like, I didn't realize that she felt so strongly about that she felt so hurt by that. And so I committed that I would really give it a go. And I stayed in the men's group. And so, in that men's
She was mad because he wanted to have sex with his wife and he wanted her to dress in lingerie sometimes.
group, I met with Jodi every
Okay,
week.
we got
And
it.
from there, he goes on to
Check,
talk
check.
about a Passengers, the YouTube channel, how it fell apart,
And
particularly
he said
after the
sorry.
release of the infamous video of their son Chad revealing he'd been forced to sleep on a beanbag for months. Says they lost 90% of their income when this channel basically fell apart. And he said how Ruby became so distraught over this, how she found validation in Jodi Hildebrandt. But he also said that things were actually going very well with him and Ruby. They were less intimate, but they were closer. So he started to think that this whole connection stuff may be working, and he was happy to be the guy on stage. He believed in it, which I want you to think about because, again, you're going to hear where he's questioning everything that Jodi did and everything Ruby believed in. But he's also the same guy who you just heard earlier, kind of giving different answers to police in his initial interview. Just something to think about. But he does say in this interview that things took a turn when Jodi revealed something at a dinner after a Connections conference.
We went out to like a dinner afterwards, and that's where Jodi really opened up to the women in a private conversation that she believed she was being tormented and haunted by shadow figures every night. And that was spooky.
Then he seems to suggest that these Connections members picked Jodi up and had her live with them for 6 weeks. Doesn't know what happened, but says that there were two different sides of this event. You got to listen to this.
According to Jodi, she was held against her will for 6 weeks and was kidnapped, and she escaped and got out. According to the Hannahs, after 6 weeks of Jodi stabbing herself with forks and knives, cutting herself, and wanting to commit suicide and trying to seduce the husband of the family, they kicked her out. I don't know what's the truth.
She got booed.
Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. But the point is, somewhere around mid-April, Jodi was back in her home in Ivins, and she was a hot mess.
Yeah, that's something. So he says after this, Jodi was a wreck and asked Ruby for help. Listen to what happened when they went to Jodi's house for the first time in 2021 and how bizarre this is.
I gotta say, like, I'm a smart guy. I'm an engineer. I've designed and helped build some really big stuff. I've been a college professor. I can't explain some of the stuff that happened while we were there. Like crashes in the basement while we were talking upstairs, and plates like in the kitchen just flying off by themselves, like full speed, smashing on the wall and falling to the floor by
Is he
themselves.
saying that?
I can't explain it, but I saw it with my own eyes, and I don't have any way to explain it other than there's some crazy going on.
Is he saying there's ghost? Is he saying that he's seeing plates flying? I'm really concerned. He's supposed to be a smart guy. Were we hearing that right? Okay, I'm gonna go back a couple of seconds. I mean, I'm in awe.
For the first time in 2021 and how bizarre this is.
I gotta say, like, I'm a smart guy. I'm an engineer.
It's debatable.
Designed and helped build some really big stuff. I've been a college professor. I can't explain some of the stuff that happened while we were there. Like crashes in the basement while we were talking upstairs, and plates like in the kitchen just flying off by themselves, like full speed, smashing on the wall.
Your kids were probably making noise in the basement because they were locked down there.
Falling to the floor by themselves. I I can't explain it, but I saw it with my own eyes, and I don't have any way to explain it other than there's some crazy going on.
Wow. A supernatural element to this was not something I was expecting. Aside from there, according to Kevin, by the way, this is bizarre stuff, Ruby was convinced that they could help Jodi and intervene. And an idea came up about why doesn't Jodi just live with them? Kevin says he was very resistant to that idea, but he was told he was being insensitive and selfish, so he ended up agreeing. But listen to what he says happened when she showed up at their home.
The moment she showed up in my house, just the weirdest crap started happening. Lights turning on and off, sounds of people walking in walls, and like sounds like footprints going up walls and across the ceiling, and like,
Man, what kind of drugs is he on?
stuff floating around, and it was weird.
Were they rugging him?
And I hated it.
Look, I don't know what any of this means. It is just bizarre and it is wild to hear. But what does Kevin say happened next? He said he became the resident exorcist in the house. Yeah, that Jodi had trances, visions, that she went into possession, that Ruby would go in and check on her, and that progressed into Ruby even sleeping in the same bed with Jodi.
The
And Kevin made
fudge.
sure to highlight that Ruby,
Ashley,
Jodi,
Ashley, did you leave yet? Did you hear that?
and Pam Botcher, we have mentioned before here on Sidebar. This was another Connections employee. Actually, Ruby's middle daughters were staying with Pam and her husband when Ruby was
Cleaning.
arrested. But Ruby, Jodi, Pam, according to Kevin, they would do these interventions where they locked themselves in a room for 4 to 5 hours, and then they would be on cloud 9. And Ruby would say that, wow, they had this, or Jodi had this amazing vision, and we have to do God's work. By the way, Pam Botcher has never been criminally charged with anything in this case.
She should
However,
be.
earlier in the
Child
interview,
labor
Kevin
laws.
did say that she is tied to all of this. So then Kevin says that at one point, Jodi got upset that during an intervention, Chad, their son, was in the backyard with his friends, and it turned into this whole big thing. And that is when he says Ruby, for the first time, mentioned the separation. And he talks about what an in-home separation looked like.
It was hard. Basically, there were all these rules now placed on me. Like, I could leave when I wanted, but I couldn't come back until Ruby gave me permission. I couldn't come into the kitchen to eat until Ruby gave me permission. And
What I don't get is the plates were flying in the kitchen. The stuff in the basement was before Jodi, they even knew Jodi. And then all of a sudden, they know Jodi, and then she moves in and weird stuff starts happening in the house. It's like, well, which one is it? Is it both?
upstairs where Jodi roamed
He lying.
was completely off limits. I couldn't go upstairs anymore in my own house. And there would be, Ruby would dictate all of the terms of how our interactions would be, when we would talk, and that was hard. And it was during that time that I really became, I would say, dependent upon Ruby. Like, if she said a kind word to me, like, my whole day was made, right?
Kevin talked about how there was an apparent effort for
That's
Jodi
called a
to gain
bully.
control of the 8 Passengers brand, the channel, and give nothing to Ruby in return. And how their YouTube manager was like, this is a red flag. Jodi is scamming you. So Kevin says Ruby fired the YouTube manager and threatened Kevin with another separation. She allegedly claimed that this is not about money, but doing God's work. All the while, Ruby went on trips with Jodi and Pam. And he goes on to say how his interactions with Jodi became more strained, that she isolated him, that she told him he can't be a part of the men's groups, that he needs to be alone with God. Says he started to question his sanity after all of this. And then there was this very weird interaction with Ruby.
Around that time, things with Ruby started like picking up, and I didn't understand why, but like Ruby wanted to meet in a parking lot and wanted me to sign over titles of documents. Like the 2 of our cars wanted me to sign them over to her name, and to Ruby. But I was like, okay, I'm just not. I'm in total compliance mode at this point. Just like, I'm a good husband. You see, you can trust me. And so whatever she asked, like sign over the cars to me, no questions, just okay. And then another thing, she was like, I might want to do an investment, but I will need your signature. Do you trust me enough that I could get your signature if I wanted to pursue my own investment? Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
She wants her own investment with his money.
How big of an investment? What's she talking about? What did she tell you?
She never did. And I never signed anything. She never brought anything to me. But when I returned to the house, everything was packed up. And a neighbor came over and said she asked for the HOA rules and mentioned to him that
What's
she
the
wanted to
homeowner
rent the house
association rules?
which I was like, are you kidding me?
They used to put they used to put paper and like black stuff up like on the wall, like on the window so you couldn't see in. Where was the HOA then? Because I know homeowners that when my mom and dad were alive and living in their home, you had to have your grass at a cut certain length. They'd be over there measuring. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? She's asking about the HOA now. Surprised they didn't come to her house.
Apparently she wanted to sell the house, but couldn't because my name was on the mortgage. And I think that's what she was talking about of, will you sign something if I just put it in front of you? And you know what? I probably would have. Like, that's how messed up I was.
I'm glad you didn't.
Me too. That would have been disastrous. But I can't describe to you what torture and hell it was to live it was more than a month really, in complete isolation. Believing that I was like evil and, I mean, manipulative and lying and selfish, and that I had abandoned my family and that I was more interested in my selfishness than my family.
Now, in one of the recorded phone calls between Ruby and Kevin, Ruby says in light of the separation, she was thinking of ways to make money. Maybe that's why she wanted him to sign over stuff. But moving to the kids, we know that Ruby and Kevin were separated. Kevin acknowledged that he had no idea what was happening with the kids during this summer period, that he was made to believe everything was blissful and good from Ruby. He says he still didn't understand how he was being accused of abandoning his family because he was like, I want to be with my family. And then, of course, we know how everything went down. But there is one more nugget from this interview that I have to share. And it is about what was found at the Ivins home of Jodi Hildebrandt when she and Ruby were arrested.
When the warrant was issued, there was a bag with $85,000 cash in it. And I understand her lawyer, Ruby's lawyer, has all that.
I'm not.
Which home are we talking about?
Ivins.
In Ivins?
In the Ivins home.
We don't know. The money was left where it was left. We didn't take it. The house was secured when we left. We're assuming that Lamar Windward was able to retrieve it, but we don't. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
One or the other.
So here's kind of the issue. That money, she cleaned out their bank accounts.
The kids' savings accounts.
Yeah, and yours too, your joint account.
Yeah.
That's where.
And that's all they had?
From.
Hold on. No way. Don't believe you. Only 85,000. Like, think about that for a minute. They had 2.3 million subscribers on their channel. They were getting millions of views. They weren't little like me. They weren't getting pennies on the video, making a couple dollars here and there. These people were making millions with endorsements, ads, all of that. All of that. It has to be from just one kid's account or something. But I think they said all of them, all the kids and their joint account. I'm gonna replay that because there is no way there's got to be more money than that somewhere. There's no way unless these people spent like they've never spent before. Because she said before they were making millions on that channel. Okay, we'll go.
Secured when we left. we're assuming.
Wait, gotta go back a little bit, I think.
More nugget from this interview that I have to share. And it is about what was found at the Ivins home of Jodi Hildebrandt when she and Ruby were arrested.
When the warrant was issued, there was a bag with $85,000 cash in it. And I understand her lawyer, Ruby's lawyer, has all that.
I'm not.
Which home are we talking about?
Ivan.
In Ivins?
In the Ivins home.
We don't know. The money was left where it was left. We didn't take it. The house was secured when we left. We're assuming that Lamar Windward was able to retrieve it, but we don't. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
One or the other people.
So here's kind of the issue. That money, she cleaned out their bank accounts.
The kids' savings account.
Yeah, and yours too, your joint account.
Yeah.
That's where that money came from.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you can have, or if I need to have a discussion with the county attorney. Kevin would kind of like his kids' money back.
Yeah. So it would be civilly. So I would go address that.
Oh, yes. That is
Just think about it, though. Those kids were the channel.
something we didn't know before. Little discussion there about whether Ruby Franke would be criminally charged for allegedly taking money away from her family. There you have it. That is a summary of what has been released today. We are actually planning on doing more episodes that can dig deeper into
So
each
many.
piece of evidence. So I want you to be on the lookout for that. We're going to get into that next week. In the meantime, I think the most appropriate place to end this whole conversation is with a statement
Ruby.
from the Washington County Attorney's Office upon the release of these materials. It states, quote, "The Washington County Attorney's Office is grateful for the law enforcement officers, medical personnel, caseworkers, Children's Justice Center staff, and others who were instrumental in ensuring the children's safety and administering justice to their abusers." That's all we have for you on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, my Lord. I don't, maybe they might. They should, actually. That should be everywhere now, but you would think that close to California they would. Here's what happened. Ooh. That's not good, Aries. Poland scrambles F-16s. I don't even want to get in a plane anymore, a regular plane. Have you been hearing about the Boeing stuff? Like, all the planes are like, you're cruising, you're losing a wheel on the tarmac. You're one of the planes, the door flew off. Damn door flew off. Can you imagine? That's not funny, but can you imagine being in an airplane, the door flies off? What? Huh? Like, what? I would be freaking out. Yes, Kaylee, that's what I was going to bring up too. She said, am I wrong when I say the state should have stepped in long before they did for these kids? Absolutely. There was a petition going around and it had over 18,000 signatures begging for CPS to step in. This was back when they had their YouTube channel. Like, this was before the stuff. Like, that we've heard now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know what happened to Sherry and Chad. We don't know what they really went through. Sherry was like, I'm out. When she was 18, she couldn't get out fast enough. Chad, same way. I think he was 17, he was out. And then they have a 16-year-old daughter, 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old. Man, 6 kids. And I mean, the older 2 are doing very well. I don't know. They must have just not got any of their mother or father's wisdom or anything, because they're terrible people. Their parents are. I was going to put this up for you guys really quick before I get off the live. I'm going to put a little like members post up. That way you guys will know that it's going to be tomorrow. And then I'm going to, that way if you guys like want to go over, you can see the community post. And if you want to join, you can join over there. You can join here. Okay, so let me put this in the chat. There we go. It's very scary. Hi, Suzanne. Welcome in. So they had following everywhere for real. Yeah. I don't know when they started their channel. It was a while ago. And they were one of the first family like vloggers, I feel like. And they really did terrible things to their children. I mean, I remember Ruby was so mad because the kids were going to do a TikTok, like a dance to a song. And the song was like, I forget what it was, but it was like a rap song or something, like, and she was having a fit about it. I mean, she went in the school, she was hooting and hollering. That's Ruby. Let me exit out some of these. So tomorrow we're going to do a members only. I don't know exactly what time, probably like 1 or 2 or 3, something like that. And just going through trying to get the stuff out that we've already seen. Now, oh yeah, that image is too bad. I can't show you that one. They're just so bad. I don't even want to look at it myself. But I am going to download all of the pictures, and I think I have the videos downloaded. Or I have the documents downloaded. I need to do the videos and the rest of the pictures, I believe. There's so much. And it was just taking so long to download, and my computer's like really, really fast. But it was just being weird. So yeah, I wonder what Kevin keeps in that man purse of his. I'm curious to know. I'm gonna buy Vincent one and ask him what are you gonna put in there? Hey, yeah, if you guys have a husband or boyfriend, say what would you put if you had a man purse? What would you put in there? That's your homework for tonight, and then tell me tomorrow. And then also, what did he say? That Ruby called him evil, and that he thought that he was because she said it. Go call him evil too and see what he says. I'm gonna go call Vincent evil and see what he says. He'll be like, what? Huh? And welcome in, Suzanne. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. If you need like the full context, like the full story of Ruby Franke, and I know I've been calling her Frank all night, but Franke, I feel like I have. And Jodi Hildebrandt, I do have a playlist. It's under Ruby Franke. But this one is like, they released all of it pretty much. They redacted a lot, but they, her journals, the photographs, the videos, the jailhouse calls. I mean, all of it. And then I'm going to FOIA Monday because she's going to be in there for a while. There's going to be jailhouse calls. Now, those ones I would like to listen to. I can't do Letitia because I can't stand her voice or her. But I can't stand Ruby either, but at least, I can stand her voice a little bit more. Plus, she's going to be in there crying. It's still a female's purse, even if a male wears it. This is getting spicy here, he said. Mine would put snacks, cigs, lighter. Mine would have old grocery or things I need to do, Post-it notes. Receipts probably from Target. I don't know what else I'd put in there. My vape. Thank you, Catherine. It says, thank you. Thanks for visiting. Yeah, I think it says that. It's from American Eagle. You know what? This shirt was on sale for like under $20. AmericanEagle.com. They were having a good sale. Just put in thank you sweater. Thank you oversized sweater. I think it's really cute. I should get these for my shop, something like it. But Vincent was saying today, he was saying that we need to get t-shirts. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm going to go tomorrow, I think, and get some letters because I really want the shirt that says, what did she say again? Now I'm going to have to find the paper. What did she say about the figs last night? I can't remember what she said, but Nancy Grace said now that we're sitting here, but pretty much like no figs given. We don't give no figs. Meaning the F word. So I need to make one. I know. I should wear my stuff for like my my boutique, for my clothing boutique on here. I actually have a sweater right there, and I was going to wear it, but then I was like, oh, it might be really hot, but this one's fine. I might have to create some sort of Discord. I'd probably have to do it. If I did do a Discord, it would have to be under members only. and it would have to be like, I just want it to be safe. So I don't know. Maybe I'd have to do like tier 1 and higher, or maybe we could do all of the memberships, but like maybe I could give out like a Vincent said this actually. He said I could give out like maybe like a password where you can get into private chat each month. Then I could switch it up. Because I don't want to I want you guys to have a safe spot, you know? But I am still wanting to do the open chat. I actually have it written down right here on my Post-it. And look, I just got more Post-its today. Got a lot of Post-its. So basically what we learned today, that Ruby, Jodi are evil, and so is Kevin. He's no better than Ruby and Jodi in my eyes, because he didn't go and try to check on his children for 13 months, but he saw his wife the month prior. He's cool to see her, sign papers, to sell cars, but can't see his children. I don't get it. I guess after you have so many, you just don't care anymore. Is that how it goes? Because my brother has 5 and a granddaughter, and he loves them all. So, you love Post-its. Me too, Caper. Actually, before I get off, I'm going to get off after this. Patreon. Maybe I'll do Patreon then, Jan, because I think I have both. I'll write them both down. So did you know that if Post-it notes don't stick very well? I saw this on something. If you like pull them off all the way from like the top on the side and then stick it, it sticks a lot more, like better. Like I don't have nothing to stick it to, but well, that's my hair. That's not going to stick. It just sticks better. I don't know how to explain it. Try it sometime. And I'll write both of those down, Discord and Patreon. Maybe Patreon might be better. But yeah. Is there another case? Yeah, what's going on with Rumsey? Let me see. Two Rivers? What's Two Rivers? Oh, I'm confused. Am I the Idaho 4, or do I have no pigs left to give? Vincent was like, my favorite part was the question and answer thing. I'm Q and you're A. To Chris McDonough, she's like, what do you think this is? She's like, this is a Q&A. I'm the Q and you're the A. I love her. I should have did it at the mall today. I'm going to go to the mall, maybe have them make it for me. But I think it'd be so much fun. Oh, no, that's what we are, DM. Yeah, so that's what I meant to tell you guys. We're going to cover Sebastian's case tomorrow and then we'll give this case a little bit of a break, and then maybe we'll go over her journals and stuff. But I want to go back over all the interviews, or at least clips of those, because in the beginning, when the first 2 interviews I saw, I felt sympathy. But now that y'all are like, Tanya, I'm just like, oh, I don't know now, you know? So I might have to go watch them all with you guys tomorrow. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do, because I know that she did one with Chronicles. They did one with the Chronicles Olivia, and maybe one more, I think. And then I know that his dad's been out, and bless his soul. Oh, be careful, Rumsey. Just be really careful. No way, DM. No way. Remember in this Madeline Soto case? Well, we were still covering it. When they did that interview, and I know I was being judgy, and everyone has to eat, but there was like a frying pan on the stove. Like, if you're going to eat, who's really going to cook something? You're just going to go get something and take a bite and be like, I don't want it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you would feel guilty. It's crazy. If I did do a Patreon, I'd make sure the paywall wasn't too much. And I know that Patreon, you could do videos and you could put stuff on there that's more graphic, so that might be good. Wow. Pics from JLR. He's good. When he needs to be, he's good. Maybe I'll have to, For real, I did too, but now I'm second guessing myself. Me too, because I don't know. They don't. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about him, you know? His dad in jail. So I saw that and I really wish I could go. I have the time. Like I was seeing that earlier because I saw on Twitter that Sebastian's dad only had 2 people, 2 volunteers out there searching with him today. Only 2. And I was like, I have the time. I just don't have the place to stay. I don't know anybody. I mean, I guess I could stay somewhere in the DoorDash, but you know what I mean? Like that's just funds that I don't have right now. I have the time, I just don't have the funds. Like, or I would go and, you know, help. I feel so bad. I don't even know how far it is from my like where I live. Let me see if I can look it up on my maps. Might be better to let me see. It might be easier to use my. So Sumner County. And then 4 hours and 45 minutes. That's it. Am I in the right state? There's no way. I am. Oh, it's because they're so up high. They're like up so high, I guess. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's not that far, y'all. That's really not that far. Wow. Seth Rogers, we are praying for you guys. And man, I feel like I need to go. I feel like I need to go there. I got to think about that. Ladybug, I heard she might be in a hospital too, but I don't know. So they didn't, what I heard was that they weren't even going to go and like search where the dog hit. They were like, no, we don't even need to search there. So that kind of makes me think maybe they found something, but then they haven't said anything. Wow, PKC, wow. I can't believe that that's so close. I was going to look something up before I got off here. Oh, I'm just going to go over to Twitter, you know, just to see, because I feel like sometimes, you know, they have something going on over there. And look at that. The 2 cases that are trending are Sebastian Rogers and Ruby Franke. And there is the picture. I mean, I guess everybody has to eat, but who the hell is going to sit down at a restaurant? I mean, at a sit-down restaurant, you know? Like, really? I don't know. I just don't get that part. You know, I don't get that. You can't tell me to get that part. I'm like, I don't get it. Let's see. I wasn't even looking at Sebastian Rogers. That just popped up first. Okay. So let's share this. Jennifer Coffendoffer said, you know, I mean, if you like her, if you don't, we'll read it. Why would Ellie ask the Cajun Navy to stand down in their search efforts? Because they know what happened to Sebastian Rogers and don't want resources wasted. That's just what I said. I said maybe they know something. Sad tonight, hoping I am wrong. She said that an hour ago. It says no landfill search is routine. Well, yeah, but I think that they had probable cause because the trash had went out that day or something. And they thought it felt heavier. Do you remember? That's what it was. The trash man said, I think that my trash was heavier in this spot. He weighs 120 pounds. You're not going to know that. Jennifer Coffendoffer said that. But I said, you know, that I was like, if they wanted them to stand down, it's probably because they know, or I said, they know something. Yeah. This is when the canine alerted. Okay. Let's watch this for a second. Oh, it's very fuzzy. Well, that could be me and my dog in the woods. I can't say this. Who in here said that? I think one of you all said, I think he's buried. Was that you, DM? I can't remember who that was. Because they did say something that they thought they found something. It says searchers, let's hold on. Okay. Searchers were out today and apparently the cadaver dog made a hit. There has also been reports of fresh dirt mound. I cannot confirm any of this at this point. Searchers were kicked out of the park. Let's go. You know Steve's be saying something about this case. And we're going to follow this tomorrow too. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I had to agree with this. I'm just going to read it. It's really disheartening to see advocates using Olivia, he's talking about Chronicles of Olivia, as a source and posting her videos. Olivia is claiming 6 cadaver dogs hit in a spot today in the Sebastian Rogers case. And he's a missing persons investigator. I have never in my life seen 6 dogs used in one area because my thought was, why would you need 6? 1 or 2 should, if they have a hit, you should be searching, right? Don't bring that many in. And if there were, I would be sus of all the handlers. Even if it's a confirmed find, it's still disappointing to see advocates I once respected using Olivia as a source. Olivia planted fake evidence in the Gabby Petito case, and that's correct. She created fake witnesses in the Kylie Rodney case, also true. She tried multiple times to threaten and intimidate a witness in the Layla Santanello case and continues to report information that that has been told is incorrect. I don't know. He says if it turns out to be true, or a fact that they would use Olivia shows lack of integrity. Well, tell us how you really feel about it, Steve. What's the state of New Hampshire? Oh, they compel Adam Montgomery to appear at a sentencing hearing. May 9th. So he has to be there. Sorry, Adam. Come in smiling. Come in with your tongue hanging out. Yeah, son of a... You know what I mean? Okay, let me get my... Oh, right here's my notes. I have everyone's name so everyone can have a card. I don't think I have an extra one in here, so I might have to grab one. Let me grab it. If not, I might forget. And we want to watch that. Did you guys hear that they went ahead and declared Harmony Montgomery deceased? And her mother got like all of her, like, I don't know if they wouldn't be like assets, but you know, like everything that she has full control. Like, I think like ownership almost like of that. Okay. I was thinking he would have said something today. I thought I would thought that he would say something. I guess not. Let's go to let's see. Let's just do Ruby Franke and see if they have anything on her. Those kids didn't need Jesus. You two do. Yep. The docket, you nailed it there, buddy. Did he put the photos and videos out? I'm just wondering. Because they're pretty bad. Like the one I showed you, I hope I don't get dinged for it. I should go check. Yeah, we're running on limited ads. Well, damn you, YouTube. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit that like button because they're already limited adding me, which is fine. I don't care about the money that much. I don't get paid off on my YouTube lives, but I care that the story gets out. You know what I mean? And I know it was my words. I don't think it was the picture. It was my words, like me saying certain words. Oh, did? Well, there was one I was going to show you guys and I didn't. It's out there on the internet. They're out there. And I will show some this like this week whenever we do a live over it. It's taken forever to load these. So I don't think I have any like anything that's worth anything right now. Do you know what I mean to show you? Like downloaded, but let me see. Oh, here's one. Well, actually, let me see if I can open this. I don't think I can open it. In my I can't open in my thing, but it was just Jodi's back porch just to show you where they were like standing, but it wasn't important. I'll get them all and I'll put them out for you. Now, there was a 2020 episode last night. If you guys didn't get a chance to see that, I think they put it on Peacock the next day. If you don't have Peacock and you've never signed up before, I think they have a free trial that you can use and you can watch that. Ruby's Frank's disturbing jail calls with Kevin and new footage from search warrants. Look at that. I was just seeing if there's anything new. Like, what do you need a safe like that for? It literally is like a safe room. There's a freaking fridge in there, for Jesus' sake. What the hell? I mean, I would like one of those in my house too, but that's just because I'm paranoid about everything. Not because I'm hurting anybody. Just like to go in there and shut the door and just be like, leave me alone. Just kidding. There's the one picture I showed you. I'm just trying not to come up on anything too much, but I don't think that there's anything. I'm just reading, make sure. Okay. Like, look how small he is. Oh my gosh, it's so sad. I really don't like her. Let's see if there's anything. Let's see the latest. I was gonna see if there's anything on Sebastian. We won't do the anonymous. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Man, I would love to hear him say his name. It says the United States Cajun Navy, this is Kitchen Navy. Cajun Navy was asked to stand down by the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. However, a number of them stayed to support Seth and to look for my grandson. We want to thank all of the volunteers who are out there, boots on the ground, looking for Sebastian. We can be threatened with lawsuits, but we are not going to stop looking for him. We will find him. We will bringing home to his dad. Thank you again for everything that everyone is doing. All the prayers, all the words of support is immensely appreciated. That's sad. Is the search planned for tomorrow or for him? Where's he going? This ain't a search plan. He's just going to be there. And then where's he going after that? That's his call. That's his. I mean, at least he's there, you know? So I'm wanting to know. I want to know more about the step parents. So if you guys have anything or know anything that you want to tell me, let me know. Because I haven't been watching a whole lot on the parents as much as I've just been like doing, things about like Sebastian. Just asking like, Google and stuff. So, but I'm going to jump off here because it's almost 3 hours in. It's late. Late. But it's Saturday. So what the heck, Does Vince drive vintage motorcycles to work every day? No, but he does have a BMW car. How did you know? Chris is suing them? Oh, wow. Well, I think Seth should be suing everybody. But okay, I'm gonna jump off here this time. I swear I am. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I appreciate it. It was really nice to talk to you at the end of the live. You know, I like our talks. They're fun. But like I said, thanks again. I appreciate you guys. I really, truly do. Let me go through really quick. Y'all were so good to me tonight. I mean, thank you. Very giving. I mean, I'm very humbled. Thank you. Miss Jan with the $2 super sticker said, I'm excited to see Aries Green. We are. And Daniela she became a new member. Jana gifted 5 memberships. Jana gifted 5 more. Brian, then he came in with the 5 memberships. ALR, 5 memberships. Bill Long, 13 months with the channel being a member. And then 5 memberships he gifted. You guys really humbled me tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. We are doing a live tomorrow. I'll drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to come. And I did post it to the community wall. So I will see you guys all tomorrow on the members live, and have a good evening. And if I don't see you, I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the live. Bye guys.